tell you what, this is good, Jen. There's a complete guide to seed saving in here. Yeah,
nice.
some great articles.
I mean, the first page talks all about let's get composting. Do you have a composting?
I try. I still prefer ours.
I think
What's wrong with my potatoes, Bex?
I don't know. What's wrong with your potatoes?
I don't know. I'm going to find out. Morning! You're thinking, what's Bex and Shaun? What are they going on about? Well, this is your free gift today, and it's the latest copy of Garden News. Brilliant magazine. It's actually UK's biggest selling gardening mag. And actually, over the next 4 weeks, if you order, you will get a free copy. So if you order every week, you will get a free copy, 4 different ones in total over the next month. And it is brilliant. I mean, I love sitting in the garden or sitting at home, just reading the garden magazine, getting lots of hints and tips.
Yeah, and do you know what? Even if you just look at the pictures, it tells you my literary reading, doesn't it? But yeah, if you just look at the pictures, it gives you great inspiration.
Yeah. Oh, and do you know what? There's a lovely article by Nick Bailey from Gardener's World who I met recently. I did meet him. Did a talk on my garden club. Great guy, but it's got a whole article on bulbs and what to do. So yes, that is your free gift today. Look at that. Scabious. Looking spectacular. Scabious.
There's so much. Oh, there's something in here from Carol Klein as well.
Yes.
I love her.
I do.
She's a proper inspiration, isn't she?
Let's get her on the show.
Over the fence. That's me, looking over the garden fence, checking out everybody's gardens.
No, I think everyone's looking over yours, checking out yours, Bex.
Do you reckon?
Yeah,
oh, I hope
hopefully.
so.
Anyway, right, good morning. Welcome to YouGarden TV with myself, Shaun Ryan, the lovely Bex Edwards.
Good
Stu's
morning.
in the gallery doing all the technical wizardry. We have got the most amazing 3 hours ahead. We've got a table over there. We've nicknamed it our favourites table.
Yes.
The deals that Ryan has put together are just ridiculous. I mean, some of those plants work out literally a few pounds each.
Yeah.
And there's loads of favourites that I mean, my favourite is the Verbena bonariensis.
Yeah, Verbena's definitely up there, but you know how much I love the Gaura.
Yes, you do,
Gaura
don't you?
siskiyou
Yes.
pink, absolutely adore that plant. So there's the Coreopsis over there, and there's the Lavatera over there, and of course we've got some spring tulips and
Crocus.
damn it! Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. It's all right. What's your language, Bex? But yeah, it's going to be one of them mornings, isn't it? Where we're going to be filling in each other's words. But yeah, some amazing deals over there. We've also got garden ready.
Yeah.
And the lovely thing is, we've got lots of plants that are literally grown on, ready to go in your beds, your borders, your hanging baskets, your containers, right now over that side of the table. But then we've got some, if you want to do maybe a little bit of growing on yourself, we have got the Pro Plugs, which are a lot more affordable. You get 60 plants, you just need to grow them on over the next several weeks. And that's what Neil, if you're watching Neil, I know you're doing that right now.
Yeah, he was messaging. Did he message you as well? He was talking about because he's got the Pro Plugs and he's growing them on.
Yes.
Well done. Love it.
Yes. And he was sat last night with his cat on his lap, which is exactly what I was doing as well. So there's a few things you need to know because you might be brand new to the show. If you spend over £40, you'll get free delivery. So do bear that in mind. Free delivery over £40. Now, I appreciate not everyone might be able to spend £40 today, but if you can't, we do actually cap the postage at £6.99 per order. So that's the most you'll ever pay per order. Now, there is a free gift, as we mentioned, which is this fabulous magazine. And I like this idea because over the next, say, 4 weeks, we're going to do a copy every week. Obviously, it'll be a different one every week. And it's great reading. It really is.
It's a good idea. I mean, if you do order every week, this is fantastic because you are going to get a different one every week, which is great. So yeah, do think about spreading your orders out and maybe getting one in every single week so you get those 4 copies.
But so many great deals on the show. We have got a special offer code that's going to come up on the screen in a few minutes' time, which is why, I'll tell you what it is just in case you want to shop ahead. It's YGTV 3624. So YGTV 3624. And what that does, it unlocks all the promotions. It also gives you your free gift as well. Now, throughout the show, Bex and I, we love it when you send in your emails. We love it when you send in your pictures.
Yeah,
we love it
let
when
me
you
get the iPad.
Yeah, show pictures of your gardens, share them. So do that. Lots of ways you can contact us. You can join the group chat on YouTube, on Facebook, or of course, you can email us as well, which is ygtv@yougarden.com. Bex is in charge of technical today.
I am indeed.
She doesn't trust me on the iPad.
I do trust you. I just like...
I know.
I'm a control freak. I can't help it.
And I don't mind. I don't mind. So Bex will be reading those out, but I will be looking at them with great interest.
I've already got a picture from Neil of his Pro Plugs. We'll show that in a little while.
Yes.
And I've got an email from somebody called Shaun here.
That's me.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah, because we've got some plants coming up in the show that I've got in my garden, so I'm going to share those with you as well. But yeah, we love it. So when you interact, we have got the most amazing deals. We've also got some stunning bulbs for you, and I'm just going to be frank, sometimes planting bulbs you think, oh, can I be bothered? But you know what, it doesn't take long, and the rewards you get in springtime are spectacular. That's
the thing, and it's a good time to start planning now. You might not be quite ready to start planting your bulbs. We do say any time between September and November. I normally do mine in around October time or early November, but now's the time to get hold of them, especially some of the more weird and wonderful and unique varieties, because they will sell out, and you can't just get another bulb, unfortunately. It takes a bit of time.
It really does.
You can't just grab some from somewhere. We might be able to divert a couple of orders, but ultimately, once they're gone, they're gone.
And that's the offer code on the screen for today's show, which is YGTV3624. And your free gift is something, never done this before, but it is the UK's best-selling gardening mag, which is Garden News, of course. And I've got to say, there's some amazing articles in here. There really is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just...
It's nice, isn't it? Cup of tea, cup of coffee, sit down, read a magazine.
There's also, an article on soy plants. We're always learning, aren't we? And although Bex and I are experienced gardeners, many of you are, there's always things to learn, and that is a really good read. Right, I want to start, though. Can we start with the tiger's eye?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because I planted this... Did you do this last year?
I didn't.
No.
And I wish... The thing is, you can't get everything in your garden, can you? I'd love to be able to fit
it all.
You can fit more in your garden, but do you know what?
Yeah.
This is a spectacular variety, really beautiful coloured flowers on here, and it's the dark veining on here that really makes this stand out, isn't it?
They are absolutely beautiful. Now, we have got a deal on this.
We have.
And basically, that is ridiculous, right? 30 plants, and these are all garden ready. When we say garden ready, I'm just going to show you.
Yep.
These are already really well grown. When they arrive, by the way, give them a good water. That is a golden rule. Give them a good water. But that is the size that you've got. So they've been grown spectacularly well.
Look at the roots on there as well.
So they are raring to go. You do not have to do any work whatsoever with these. And they are working out £15 for 30. I mean, we are talking 50 pence a plant.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not being funny. If that was in a 9cm pot, you could be paying £2 for that.
Absolutely.
Easily. But get them now, get them planted. And one of the tips that we are going to give you is... the earlier you start planting your winter bedding, the longer it's got to get established. There is a nip in the air now. Autumn is on its way, but there's still nice warm temperatures. There's good daylight hours around. So if you plant them now, get your baskets, your pots done now, then they'll start establishing even quicker. But 30 of those at $14.99. And for club members, I'm just going to talk about club membership because my vouchers arrived.
Hey!
Yes. I've been on a holiday for a week. I've tried not to put on weight on the holiday. It was actually quite good-ish. But anyway, I got back and because I've got the auto renewal, as is Bex, with the say brilliant discount club. So it automatically renewed, £5 for the next year, but I got £20 worth of vouchers to spend.
Yay! Yeah. I'm expecting mine any day now because I joined around this time last year. So any time now, my £20 coming through, and I know exactly what I'm going to spend it on.
Yeah, I've got loads of things on my list, actually. Yeah, there's so many good things. But if you are a club member, the point of the story is you'd get all of those for $13.49. And you can join the club today. It's £5 a year on auto renewal, and you'd save 10% on all of your plants, your compost, your pots, every single time that you shop with us. Over 45,000 members of that club now. So I often say this, but 45,000 people can't be wrong, can they? They really can't. If you are a club member, you know the benefits of being in that club. I thought Bex was going to say she'd save £45,000 by being a club member.
If only I had that money to spend on gardening, and if I did, I would.
Do you know what, though? Over the next several years, you could easily save thousands and thousands of pounds.
Totally.
So join the club today. All the details on our website. But if you'd like to go for the Viola Sorbet Tiger's Eye, it's 410158. And these will flower all through the winter. They
stay nice and compact as well, so these aren't going to get massive and sprawl and do, you know, get annoying things. No, these only get to probably about 15, 20 centimetres height, and each one of those plug plants will spread by about 15 and 20 centimetres. So if you are getting the deal here with the 30 garden-ready plants, that's going to fill a really big area. Yeah. Great way to do these is maybe plant them in between where you're planting some of your spring bulbs, because that'll create a lovely carpet of colour, and then you'll get those lovely spring bulbs popping up through them next year.
And we've got so many lovely bulbs on the show that would go really well with those, but they're just a little bit different. So, you know, I grew them last year and they just really stood out. A lot of people said, oh, I love those violas. What are they? They're called Tiger Eye, and you're going to get 30 of those. Right, we're going to move on though to
Erigeron.
Yes, something we've both got in our gardens.
Yeah, now mine is mixing in with the Geranium rozanne. I sent a little video to Stu earlier. It's more about the rozanne, but I really like the way the Erigeron is growing through it. Happy accident, didn't mean for it to happen. Just planted them close together, and now it's gently sort of meandering and trailing through the Erigeron. But I will get yours up. Hold on one second.
So the stories, I'll give you the details of these in a minute, because we've got an amazing deal on them. In fact, I'll do it now. Why not? But this is a plant that can really grow in very, very poor conditions. And I've used it in an area of my garden that was just full of weeds and it's full of stones. That's it planted up. But literally, that's an area where the soil is really quite poor. It's full of stones and grit and gravel, gets a reasonable amount of sun, and that is really filling out beautifully. It's such an easy plant.
Such an easy plant, yeah. It's gorgeous. And the thing is, it flowers non-stop from April right the way through to October.
Yeah.
You know, mine's looking fantastic now. Is this a recent picture? Or is
this I only planted it, the one at the end has been there about 3-4 years, but because it was doing well, I thought, right, I'll do the whole area in it.
Nice.
But that's only been recently planted, but all flying away. I've not done anything really to it. Doesn't need a lot of maintenance or watering, and it comes back every single year.
Yeah, it's incredibly drought tolerant. You don't need to constantly water it. You get this lovely colour changing display happening with this as well, because they're the daisy type flowers, but you get pinks in there as well. So I think they come out white and then they go to pink, don't they? So you get lovely white colours, and then you get a lighter pink and then a darker pink. They close up at night time, open up in the daytime, and we're talking so many months: April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I mean, I'm counting 7 months there, non-stop flowering and very little work from you.
Now, they are on a 3 for 2, but you can mix and match with the Hollyhock coming up a little bit later on. But I just think they're a great ground cover plant, very low maintenance. As Bex has said, they'll flower for several months of the year. They die down a bit in the winter, but they will come back every single year. And so we actually did a little bit of filming in my garden recently. We had a lovely day. We had some great burgers. You were away. You were on holiday.
It's all Stu could tell me about was the burgers. He said they were great.
But this is what Erigeron can look like in your garden. Well, this is where I've put Erigeron in my garden, because this whole board, I'll be honest, it's very rubbly. Haven't really worked out quite what to do with it, but I wanted ground cover. And there's only about 3 plants here. They've been here a couple of years, and they just flower all summer long for 6-7 months of the year. And what I've done, I've actually extended. So now, because they did so well then, this is often a tip. If you see a plant doing well, then you might want to repeat it somewhere nearby or get a similar variety. So I've actually just planted a few more plants along here. And the great thing is they will just flower and flower all summer long. Each plant can get up to about 1 metre by metre. The flowers change colour, so sometimes they're white, sometimes they're dark pink, light pink. And at the end of the year, all I'll do is literally trim them back, and we'll do it all again next year and the year after and the year after. It's known as Mexican fleabane. That's the popular name for it. And it's one of those plants that will tolerate a very poor soil, likes lots of sun, and needs very little love and attention. It's just a brilliant ground cover plant that will flower all summer long and produce thousands of flowers. And they're like little daisies, which I love. So that whole area, really poor soil, it's very gritty. You can barely dig into it. But Erigeron is such a true performer.
It's funny because you've got really sort of gritty soil there, and the one where mine's planted is really heavy, thick clay soil, and it's doing brilliantly. So I think it's actually got 2 quite extreme opposites there, and it's still doing brilliantly.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you want ground cover, if you want something that's going to come back every single year, flower for several months, it's a brilliant one to go for. And a good weed suppressant as well. I had lots of weeds there before. It's brilliant at suppressing the weeds.
Please think about going for it with a geranium rozanne. When Stu manages to sort out the video, honestly,
it
is such a good planting combination. It really looks amazing. And it's just started to mingle this year. So next year it's going to be even better.
I might get a few more then.
Oh, you should, because it's so good.
Loads of messages coming in. We will read those in a second. But the other mix and match, so this is a 3 for 2 offer, $14.99, so basically get 3 for the price of 2. But you can mix and match them with the gorgeous Hollyhocks, which is the Choisya mix. And I can honestly say, as far as hollyhocks go, these have got to be some of the most spectacular because they're doubles.
Now, I fell in love with hollyhocks this year. It's not something I planted in my garden, but I was looking at all the hollyhocks around, and this year, I just think the hollyhocks were absolutely incredible, weren't they?
It's good, yeah.
And these can get so tall. I mean, these can get taller than Shaun. These
that doesn't take much doing. All 5'10" of me.
Honestly, I mean, we say these can get to probably 6 feet in height. They can definitely get taller, I think, certainly from what I was seeing around this year. They can get to 2 metres plus as well, and these are incredibly spectacular, as you say, with those double ruffled petals on there.
And you get a lovely colour mix as well. Now, they won't obviously flower this year, but you're buying them as garden-ready plants. They will flower next year.
Yes.
Normally, year 2, year 3, they get taller and bigger. They quite often self-seed as well. I've got a few random ones that have popped up, but I don't mind that at all. Fully winter hardy. Fully winter hardy,
yeah. Super easy to grow. Can grow in those poorer places as well. I mean, these can just pop up in the cracks between pavings.
I was going to say, you quite often see them in like coastal towns and things, just growing out of walls and, as you say, roads and things. So very, very easy to grow. But the Choisya mix is just spectacular because they're all doubles and they have such a big impact. Now, again, you get 10 for $14.99, but you can go for the 3 for 2 offer and mix them with the Erigeron as well. The choice is yours.
Yeah.
So it works out.
Like that. I'm definitely going to plant some hollyhocks this year, so I might take advantage of that deal. You can never have too much Erigeron, and the hollyhocks are just incredible, so I might mix those up.
And it is that height that you get brilliant at the back of a border.
Definitely.
But we're going to move on now to our Primrose bonelli mix. And again, look at the value here. So you're getting, the prices are really good, aren't they?
We've got some great prices, absolutely. And this is very much about sorting out, I mean, we've got some which are for flowering next year, but a lot of what we're bringing you is about sorting out your sort of autumn and winter flowering. And this is what you're getting with Primrose. We had a few, didn't we? A lot of you sent us some pictures of primroses flowering weirdly in the middle of summer. Love that. Mine were doing it as well. But they are just about to burst into life. All the primroses you've already got planted and the ones that you're going to get hold of today, this is your autumn colour. These will start flowering for you from about maybe end of October into November time, and they're going to keep going for you through the winter and into sort of late winter as well.
And they come back every year, of course.
Yeah.
So...
And I love the foliage on here as well. It's got this really lovely sort of, I don't know what it is, it's like a cabbagey texture to the foliage.
It's strong,
and it
isn't it?
just sets off the colour of the primrose, you know, there's lovely sort of clusters of flowers that you get. And it is such a beautiful sort of rainbow bright mix of flowers you get there. Some of them are solid colours, some of them are bi-colours. They're all beautiful though.
They really are. And I think primroses with pansies make a great combination. Again, you can plant these with some of the spring bulbs that are coming up right now. But as it cools down, the primroses just burst into colour. And I'm not a winter person, I'm really not, but I have learned that having colour in the garden in winter is so important. For me, it keeps me happy. It helps perk me up.
Well, I think it makes you go outside as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you can stand inside and obviously look out into your garden and see the gorgeous colours, which is beautiful. But I do actually find if I've got something going on in the garden outside, it forces me to go out when otherwise I'd be happy sitting inside with a cup of tea on the settee.
Just eating more. That's what I know we do in the winter. Now, can you get one out, Bex?
Yeah, of course.
And I can't quite reach.
Give it a little squeeze, pop those out. Yeah,
look at that.
Gorgeous root structures on there. So with the garden ready plants, what it means is that they've just been grown on that little bit further. So they are larger plants. Garden ready, they're garden ready. Yeah. They are ready for you to plant out in your garden. What location they go in is entirely up to you. They work gorgeously in pots, but they work fantastically in those slightly shadier areas. So, you know, under bushes and under trees where other things struggle to grow because obviously all the goodness is going into the tree and they're not getting enough light, these work beautifully.
And look how healthy those are.
So
they're big,
healthy.
aren't they?
Big size, yeah, absolutely.
And you are going to get 30 again. If you are a club member today, $13.49 is all you're going to pay. So that works out less than 50 pence per plant. And over the years, these will just grow into bigger clumps. You can dig them up, you can divide them, you can move them around. And as Bex said, great for those difficult areas, shady areas, but hanging baskets, pots, containers, borders, pretty much anywhere that you wish. The one thing I will say is, even in winter, do keep an eye on watering, because I've got some under my eucalyptus tree, and sometimes they do, you can see sometimes they dry out, because it's a very dry area there, but they're brilliant.
Yeah, and just a bit of occasional deadheading. Not a massive amount, though, to be honest. It's not like your dahlias and your sweet peas, where you've got to be out there constantly doing it. Just a little bit of deadheading every now and then helps.
Yeah, but they're beautiful, and so the variety of colour there is absolutely gorgeous. I do love primroses.
Yeah.
And they will say as it cools down, they will start to flower.
It's true.
Yeah.
Mine are really starting already.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a few out.
Colours.
I've got a few out.
Yeah. There's going to be so many more, though.
I tell you what, it did feel a bit nippy this morning, didn't it? Were you out in the garden?
Feels like autumn is like here, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm hoping we get a little bit more sunshine and a bit more warm weather.
I think we will.
There's a few mornings at the minute where you're like, okay, yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, we both came to YouGarden because we broadcast from the nursery, as many of you know. We both came in and went, oh, it's a little bit autumnal.
I had my gilet on this morning.
You did, didn't you?
My gilet on.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on. Berries and cream is the next one. This one is super popular. Every single year, this one is one of the ones that we bring you, and it's one of the ones that sells out every single time. It is a buy one, get one free here. So you're going to get the pack of 10. I'm fumbling for them. Pack of 10 there of the garden ready, but it is a buy one, get one free. So you will get another pack of 10 as long as you use the code YGTV3624. And these provide colour for up to 10 months of the year. And we can only think of Bowls mauve. The bowls mauve that flowers for as long as these can. These are stupidly hardy as well. -20, -25, not a problem. These can cope with them. Those temperatures. Hang on. Have I got it wrong?
No, I just heard, I thought it was thunder.
Oh, no, it's a plane.
Is it a plane? I was like...
plane. Just do it.
I'm sorry, I looked
Sean looked at me and I was like, hang on, have I said something wrong?
No, I just heard this noise outside. I was like, is that thunder? It can't be. No, everything you said, I'm going to completely agree with. One thing I will say, with them, we tend to think of them as being an annual, and you know, you'll have them all through autumn, winter, spring, the beginning of summer. They really do die down sort of like July, August. But if you cut them back and put them somewhere a bit more shady out of the sun, they actually will come back for the following, say, autumn. So you can actually have them as a perennial, but some people just see them as a, as a bedding plant, and when they go over, they get rid of them. But you could have them for many, many years. But they can produce thousands of flowers. They're actually my favourite out of all the pansies. They are my personal favourite. Yeah,
this particular mix as well. It's like berries and cream. We do love this sort of purple and white mix. We've got it with the Paradise Purple tulips as well, haven't we? It's quite high end. It's a bit designer, isn't it? And it looks so classy. And of course, those lovely yellow centres really do set off those colours as well.
And I sometimes I'll do. I like to vary how I plant. So some years I'll go for loads of bright colours, and I love that. But yeah, there isn't a definite elegance and sophistication about that colour palette with berries and cream, and it does look lovely and cool in the winter months. But actually, I often plant mine with little mini daffodils and things like that, and that can look really nice.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That yellow does sort of bring the colour palette together, doesn't it? So which is your favourite? We've shown you a lot of the garden readies. We've got the berries and cream, we've got the Primrose bonelli, the Hollyhocks, we've got the gorgeous Erigeron and the Viola Tiger's Eye at the end. Deals on all of those.
I love all of that, don't you?
They're all brilliant. But tell us which one's your favourite. Let us know in the chat.
Yeah. And don't forget, we just want to... We like to mix it up a bit here at YGTV, so we've got a completely different free gift over the next 4 weeks, and it is the UK's best-selling, biggest-selling gardening mag. And we know you love your gardening, so we thought, right, give you a free magazine, and you'll get a different copy every week. So if you place an order every week, you're going to get a different copy on a weekly basis, which is brilliant. And there's all the top... I mean, you've got all the top gardeners in there. You've got Nick Bailey, you've got Carol Klein. I believe our head gardener, Peter McDermott, he does contribute, doesn't he?
Oh, so there might be a feature in there. I didn't see it when I was flicking through. So it might not be this issue, but it might be one of the next issues.
Yeah.
So this is a if you want to get hold of this and you are placing an order every week for the next 4 weeks, you might see something from our Peter.
He is there.
It's a tiny.
I mean, Peter, if you're watching, I think you deserved a full page.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
with that face, for sure.
But I know that he has written lots of articles for the magazine and all sorts of things like what chemicals to use in your garden. He's written a big article about different composts as well, and I think he's done one recently about peat versus peat-free. So yeah, you will see our head gardener pop in there as well. I'd like to write something for that, wouldn't you?
I would.
Yes.
How cool would that be?
Yes.
We could do a little feature, couldn't we?
We could.
A little joint feature.
Yes. We could. It'd be great, wouldn't it? I'd like to do an article about how to run a garden, because I'm in the garden club in our village. I'd love to do an article on that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'll do how to do a garden with children.
Yeah, that's a good one though, isn't it? Yeah.
Play to your strengths.
Yeah.
Play to your strengths.
Yeah. Stu said he's going to do one about how to sit in the garden, drinking beer.
Yeah.
That'd be
and listening to music.
That'd be a short article, Stu. Right, we're going to move on though. So don't forget, a brilliant free gift. We want you to read the magazine. We want you to learn from it, enjoy it, and you're going to get a free copy with your orders today. All you need to do is use off code YGTV3624. Right. Now, normally, if you watch every week, normally we have massive big plants in the middle here, don't we?
Yeah, we've got a couple coming up. Yeah, we've got some of those coming up in a little while. But yeah, we've got lots of plug plants. We've got all the garden readies here. What we've got with the next two items are the pro plugs. Now, Neil knows what we're talking about here. I think it's the other ones that he's got. But anyway, yeah, these are the pro plugs. These are smaller plug plants. Let me just show you the underside of here so you can get the idea. Those are the little cells that they come in. And they are 60 of them. You do not need to be a professional to grow these. If you think about the slightly larger plug plants that you can buy, what you will do with those is you'll tend to grow them on. You'll pot them up very much like this. You'll grow them on a windowsill in your greenhouse, and then you're ready to plant them out. It's exactly the same process. These are just that little bit smaller. I did it last year, actually, with the next item, these ones coming up. Super easy to do. Our windowsill propagator kits, if you had those from us a little while ago, that way, hello. If you had those from us a little while ago, these are brilliant to grow these on in, but you can grow them in anything. You know the little 9-centimetre pots that you've got your other plants in, yogurt pots, these ones, our, I forget what they're called, the ones that decompose, the bio pots, yeah. You can grow them on in there, so just grow them on for a few weeks, and then you're ready to plant them out.
But it just works out far better value. And I did this with my begonias for summer. And there's a sense of satisfaction.
Yeah, I quite like it.
It's nice. And again, if you buy them at this time of year, there's lots of lights around, the temperature's still warm, you'll be amazed how these will grow in the next few weeks, and then they will be garden ready. But it's just a more affordable way, and there is a sense of satisfaction. And actually, the weird thing is, when you take a Pro Plug, the moment you actually place it in a 9-centimetre pot, like we've done here, it instantly looks bigger.
Like a 9-centimetre pot, yeah.
You know, it does. So it's just a really good way. And yes, it's going to take you a little bit of time to do it, but it is worth it.
Oh, it doesn't take long, though.
It doesn't.
I did a little time-lapse video. I didn't send that one to Stu, but I did a little time-lapse video of me doing it with the 60 Pro plugs.
And how long did it take?
It didn't take long at all. No. I mean, it just filled all the pots up and then popped the ball in.
That's what I do.
It's a 20-minute job.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I fill all the pots first of all,
and then just
I literally I get my finger, nature's dibber.
Fingers dibber.
Yeah, and then put your plants in. The only thing we'll say, give them a really good water. I don't know if you said that, Bex, but when they arrive, give them a really good water.
Yeah, because obviously they're in the smaller cells, so you do need to give them a good water. Leave them to stand for just a little while so they can settle, and then you're ready to plant.
And with them being sort of young, tender plants, you just need to keep your eye on them. Do not let them dry out. Obviously, when a plant's bigger and it's got a good root system, it will tolerate drought a little bit more. But yes, just keep your eye on the watering. But it's easy. It really is.
Super simple.
And what's that work out about? Just over 30p a plant. So brilliant value.
Great
really
value.
Good value. So those are the Primrose Harlequin mix. Then we've also got something that I've got on my list today.
So I did these last year. These the pansy Cascadia.
I remember, because you had them in your baskets, didn't you?
I did have them in my basket. So this is exactly the one I bought last year. I think I was trying to get one of the other ones. It was going to be the Cool Waves, and I left it too long and they'd sold out, and I got these instead. And these are so good, and these are super trailing varieties.
I was going to say, that's the thing. I remember yours really trailed.
Absolutely. These are massive trailers. So these can reach probably 40, 50 centimetre trail here. gorgeous mix of pansy colours in there. Some, you know, solid colour, some bi-colours in there. You've got the ones that have got those gorgeous faces. I love that one. That one looks like it's laughing a little bit. Sometimes they look a bit angry. I quite like the angry faces. I find them quite cute. But a beautiful, beautiful colour mix. It is the Pro Plugs again, so we are talking about those smaller cells. So just pot them up, as Shaun has done with this one here, look, and grow them on your windowsill. Now, I bought mine, and I've got the images. They got delivered to me on the 9th of September, and then the video that hopefully Stu will be able to get for you in a little while was on the 10th of October. So I grew them on for 4 weeks, for 1 month, and then I potted them up and put them into my hanging baskets.
So not a lot of time to actually wait.
I probably could have done it a week earlier as well, to be honest.
But this is a bit of a breakthrough in terms of breeding, because they do properly trail. The cool wave, we say kind of cascade, but these are proper trailers.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's what appeals to me, because for years we just didn't have trailing pansies.
No, and they are still winter hardy. They can still cope with those, you know, cooler temperatures. But as Shaun said earlier, now is the time to get hold of them. You don't want to be planting them in the cold temperatures. They need time right now, whilst the days are still longer, whilst it's still just that little bit warmer, to get established. And then when you plant them out, they can then cope with those colder temperatures.
I have made that mistake before, just planting too late, and things just, if you plant them in November and it's cold and miserable, they don't die, but they just stay a bit static for a few months. So get them now, grow them on, and then have amazing autumn and winter and spring displays. But I'd say I'm definitely going to go those, because I remember yours last year. I had a little bit of envy. I was
so pleased, and all 60 of them were absolutely brilliant. So this is the video after I've been growing them on for a month. I did that video on the, I think it was the 9th or the 10th of October, and that's what they grew into from these, you know, Pro Plugs that we're showing you in the potting shed this morning. And all I did was sit them on my windowsill in my greenhouse.
I do remember going to Bex's house last year, and you said, but this is when you weren't growing things then, you said, I'm thinking of using the conservatory as a greenhouse. I was like,
it's just my greenhouse now. I don't even call it the conservatory anymore. It's the greenhouse.
It's great. But you know, if you don't have a conservatory or anything like that, a windowsill is absolutely fine. But actually, at this time of year, because there's no frost around, you can do it all outside. Just keep
absolutely, no problem at all.
So really good value. Yes, I'm definitely going to go for those. And the Cold XL, not because of the size of the flowers, but because of the way that they trail. And there's in the winter time, there's very few trailing plants when you think about it. There's not that many, is there?
No, not many at all.
Loads in the summertime with summer bedding, but that makes them really, really quite exceptional. So they are the XL trailing rather. Right. Hello. We've got loads of people in the chat, apparently.
Yeah, let's have a little look, shall we?
Good morning.
Good morning to you all. The chat is loading. Yes, hello. So we've got Neil, obviously. Good morning, Neil.
Morning, Neil. Yes,
Elaine
we like our
is
Neil.
in there saying hello. George, good morning to you.
Morning.
Mandy in her balcony garden. She has come to join us as well. Neil saying, I'm really busy at work today, so I'll be dipping in and out and watching back fully later. That's fine. We understand when you've got to work. Neil got his vouchers yesterday as well, so he's very excited about that.
Neil, I was arrived on the same day then.
You must have joined the club on the same day. So thank you so much. You're all in the chat. Let's go into the emails, because
I think Neil and I have got a lot in common. We both love cats, and we both got our vouchers on the same day, and we both love gardening. So
Neil received his Pansy Cool Wave Pro Plugs yesterday. That's what he was messaging both you and I about, and he was sorting out how he was going to plant them out and what he was going to do with them. So that is them having arrived. Look at the quality. It does look like you're having them for dinner, Neil. But look, that's them just arrived.
You can actually eat the pansies, the actual flowers, they're better just in your pots and your hanging baskets.
Although Shaun always does munch on the flowers when we're in the potting shed. He can do it now. I don't know it.
They're just like, I want a health kick.
Aren't they a bit peppery? Oh, excuse me.
They're actually quite nice. If you ever watch programs like, or MasterChef, things like that, they often, when they're decorating the plates, they often use pansies and violas. Yeah.
Is it tasty?
Yeah, that's
your lunch now.
That's my lunch done. So I've just come back from a holiday trying to be fit.
Shaun's trying to be good.
Yes, but amazing value. So if you want the berries and cream, the details on the screen for the berries and cream there, which are the garden ready ones, 410112, or you can go for the XL, don't forget, which is a little bit of work.
Is that right? Stu's just said his Ring doorbell has just popped up on his phone, and it's his YouGarden order arriving.
Yes.
What did you order, Stu? 100 litres of compost and some oleanders.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah. Right. But Stu, Stu is in charge of our technical, but he's really getting into his gardening too, of course.
It's Sam that gets into it.
Apparently he's going to use the compost to repot his houseplants.
Very
well.
good.
Right, don't forget your offer code today, YGTV.
3624.
Yeah, it just disappeared there. 3624 gets your free gift, but also unlocks all of the promotions. Now, something else that is definitely on my list today are the Narcissus tête-à-tête. I adore these.
They're so cute. That's the thing with these. I adore the smaller daffodils, and particularly the tête-à-têtes. These are just classic daffodil shapes, aren't they? The bright sunshine yellow and those trumpets out the front. But these are the ones that stay really nice and compact, only reaching, 15, maybe 20 centimetres in height. And the reason I love the smaller daffodils is because I just think they're more versatile. You can plant them in so many more places. I would never plant a 50 centimetre tall daffodil in the top of a hanging basket.
No.
I wouldn't put them into a window box because they're just too tall. But you can with the smaller ones. Rockeries, they work great in those as well, don't they? And they're just dinky and cute. I love them.
And they normally flower around about Mother's Day as well in March. So you get those gorgeous displays, and they do look great in even the smallest of pots. I've got some little terracotta pots, or terranotta, I should say. But they look great in those, and you do get 100 of them, which is like, you think about that 100. And what amazes me, the supermarkets, they'll often sell in March time little pots of tête-à-tête where you get 3 maybe, and they'll sell them for £3-4. Well, you can get 100 right now. So any pots containers that you've got, fill them with these and they look absolutely glorious. But it is about the height on these. They're neater, they're more compact. I think daffodils look great in beds and borders, but they don't look quite as good in pots and containers. Sometimes it depends on the size of the pot or container. Yeah,
I get what you're saying, absolutely. I like the idea of maybe if you are looking for Mother's Day presents, and we've all got what we need. We don't need loads of stuff. And I quite like the idea.
What you said earlier.
We don't, we've got what we need, haven't we? So
you'd just like a holiday, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd love a holiday. God. If my kids could buy me a holiday, that would be amazing. But I like the idea of getting hold of these and maybe potting them up, planting them up, and then giving the pot as a gift on Mother's Day. What a lovely gift, because then they can have them every year.
Now, all the instructions are on the packet as well. So things like planting depth, spacing, it's all in the packet. The bulbs themselves are really good quality, and when you feel them, they're really firm.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure some of you will have bought bulbs before from supermarkets, and when you open up the packet, there'll be some of it a bit soggy, some of it small. These are all really good in terms of size and quality, and ready to plant pretty much straight away. I tend to plant sort of like end of September, October time.
Yeah, it's not much of a problem, I think, with planting daffodil bulbs. Tulips I hold off on for sure, but daffodil bulbs, once you get hold of these, if you want to plant them, I don't think there'll be an issue with those.
But if you haven't got time to plant them, just store them in a cool, dry place, and they'll be absolutely fine.
Do you remember last year? I think I counted, I had 800 or 900 bulbs in the end, and I just kept looking at them, going, "Oh, that's a lot of bulbs."
You plant them, didn't you?
But actually, once you get into it, it's fine. It's super easy, and it's quite an enjoyable task to do.
And I'm not, I shouldn't really say this, but I'm not too particular about planting depth. I mean, within reason, but the general rule is whatever size of bulb is, plant it 2 to 3 times its depth. But I don't measure. I don't measure. I really don't.
And my finger's my dibber.
Yeah,
normally.
same here. Like, I plant in masses and in bulk, and so I'm not too particular. Pointer side goes up, as you probably know. But even if sometimes you plant a bulb on its side and things like that, they tend to find a way.
They'll
they really
right
do.
themselves. Big £10 saving on that actual collection there, so you will get 100 of those bulbs, and it's just £14.99.
That's really good.
It's a really good price.
That's 15
pence a bulb.
Wow. Club
13
members.
and a half if you're a club.
Your maths is getting better. Tell you what, isn't it? So we do a 25 pack of these, but the best value is definitely the 100 pack, 600091. Right.
Rozanne, let me just move that out of the way because I forgot that was there.
Don't forget YouGarden magazine as well. free with every single order. It's a really good good read. All the top gardeners are in there as well. But we have got an offer on, I think it's fair to say, out of all the plants in the nursery, this has got to be in, I'm going to say top 3.
Oh, that is bold.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm kind of with you on it.
Yeah.
It's a staple, it's a favourite, and it's because it's super easy but really floriferous, and for such a long time as well. We haven't deadheaded out. You haven't deadheaded yours again this year? I haven't deadheaded mine this year. I did trim up the edges slightly just because it was encroaching a little bit, but I haven't gone around and deadheaded it, and it looks amazing even now, right now. That was it. I did that video yesterday. Last night I was out at about 6 o'clock, and that's what it looked like.
And you haven't touched it?
Haven't touched it.
No, I'm the same.
The Erigeron you could just see in the background there, just starting to meander through, look. And as that makes friends even more next year, that just looks so good. That's why I'm telling you should go for both of those and plant them close together. It is only £9.99 for the Geranium rozanne. Grab this now, get it in the ground, get it planted. You're planting it for next year, really. You'll still get a few flowers on it this year, but what it can do is, while the ground is nice and warm and all the rest of it, it can concentrate on getting roots established. And then next year, once the spring comes and this bursts back into life, it only has to think about going upwards. It doesn't have to divert its energy in 2 directions. It doesn't have to do root development and flowers. It can concentrate more on flowers.
I actually get excited about September as a month because it is a great month for planting. It's a great month for moving things around as well if things have maybe outgrown their current position. But you know, I said this is in my top 3 here at the nursery. It was voted Plant of the Centenary for Chelsea in 2013. Now, you imagine how many plants have exhibited at Chelsea over the last 100 or so years, 111 years, I believe. That was given the award of Plant of the Centenary. And that is a huge award, isn't it?
It's massive.
It's massive.
Absolutely.
I mean, it doesn't really get bigger than that.
So, Plant of the Centenary at the 100th Chelsea Flower Show, the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit, and they've given it their badge of perfect for pollinators, because pollinators adore those flowers. It's great for filling in gaps in your borders, and now's the time. You've been looking at your gardens. You can see where there are some gaps. Put a rozanne in there, because what it'll do is create a lovely domed sort of mass of foliage and flowers, and then you're not going to get those weeds growing through. And it's such a reliable perennial plant coming back for you every single year. And actually really quite drought tolerant, well established as well. Now, I've got mine in one side of the garden and I love it so much that I'm actually, and I've got mine I just need to get out in the garden, been away a week, but I need to just plant them. But I'm going to put them all the way around the other side because I love it so much. And you know, if you've already got one of these and it's doing well, it does make sense to have a few more. It really does. I've only got the one, and it is maybe a decision to just plant some more around because it fills a nice area. One of these plants is going to get to, I mean, maybe 30, 40 centimetres height, but it'll go double that. It'll go to a good 60-metre spread as well. The one I've got, I mean, it fills a bigger area than this table. And that's how much space it can actually fill. They are absolutely amazing plants. I love the colour as well. It's a gorgeous kind of bluey mauvey colour. And like Bex, and I'm ashamed to say, mine's been given no TLC. No, but it's just flowered and flowered. I think it's like one of those plants that just looks at me and goes, well, okay, you don't seem to care about me, but I'm going to show you how beautiful I am. I'll carry on.
Yeah, and they really, really do. It's an absolute winner, and I hope you get it today at £9.99, £8.99 if you are a club member. Right, we've got such a good table over here, though. This is the favourites table, and I think a few of these work actually beautifully together. I'm instantly looking at Verbena, bonariensis, Coreopsis, and Gaura. I think if you were to plant those in sort of a similar location with each other, I think they would work beautifully. It's a melee of colours, and I like that mishmash, but you've got the tall purple of the Verbena, you've got the wonderful buttery yellow of the Coreopsis, and then you've got the beautiful pink of the Gaura. I think they'd work really nicely. We have got absolutely crazy deals on these today, so I'm going to pretty much guarantee that you will order from this table today. Yeah. I'm standing by my favourite, the Verbena bonariensis. I'm going to stand by my favourite. Hey, and you others, we still love you. Still we really do. You, but if we have to pick one, we're picking one. Let's go with yours first of all, shall we? So, some of you know I've got a sort of a big patio at the back of my garden, and do you know what? It's quite harsh. didn't know what to do with it. It's just got really like...
Harsh line.
Yeah.
Needed softening.
So I planted Verbena bonariensis. Now, they've been in there now about a year and a half, and this is what they look like. Well, this is what they looked like literally a couple of weeks ago. Well, this edge of my patio looks a little bit severe and harsh, I think you'll agree. But if I take you around this side, I actually planted last year Verbena bonariensis, and I just love this because you still get the view, but it softens the whole border. And I just adore these like pom-poms of purple. And it's a massive one for the pollinators as well. You get so many bees just dancing around here. But Verbena bonariensis, it's often known as a transparent plant. And what it does, it really highlights other plants in your beds and borders without dominating. You can always see through it. You've got these lovely kind of, I always call them like plants that look like they've done Pilates, because you've got these long, lean kind of stems and side stems, and there's these little purple pom-poms on the edge of every one. So they never block, they never dominate, they never overtake, but they complement all the other plants in the garden. Now, these are in full flower right now. Last year, I let them go to seed. I want to show you what's happened. So if you come and take a look down here, I mentioned that I let these go to seed last year. They look really attractive during the winter, but look, there are now hundreds of mini Verbena bonariensis. Look, loads and loads of these. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig these up and I'm going to plant them all the way around the garden. So imagine what I've got here. I can have the other side of the patio, and then I really want, that border's a bit dull over there, so I'm just going to plant dozens of Verbena bonariensis, and I think it's going to look great. And all these plants were free just from the seeds from these. There's only 6 plants there, and there were this in fact they were smaller than this size, I would say. But it looks amazing, and you saw that they're all self-seeded as well, so got loads of freebies. It's $9.99 for all 3. They're normally nearly £30. I am just going to say, the T-shirt I'm wearing in that clip was not very flattering, Bex. Can we just be quite clear about that?
I've been taking the mickey out of Shaun.
Yeah, the T-shirt just clung in all the wrong places.
You've thrown it away now, haven't you?
I have. I've binned the T-shirt.
Since seeing all these bits of footage that you did on that filming day, and you did a lot of filming, and those clips are going to keep popping up. It's going to give you so much motivation, though. It has done. But it's also you look great, don't be silly. No, I did look a bit fat on that day. But it was a T-shirt. The flowers, that's how good they look. And again, they're very easy. The pollinators have loved them this year. There's been lots of bees just swarming around. And they still look great right now. And I love the height. You know, we're talking about 1.5, maybe 1.75 metres on some of those right now. But they just really soften that edge. But we do call them the transparent plant because they never take over. They're never too dense. They work pretty much anywhere amongst other plants to give you that height, but without ever taking away from anything else. Yeah, they play well, don't they? They do. They make good playfellows. They're just beautiful. Look at the colour as well. It's a gorgeous colour, yeah. So they're my personal favourite. That's another plant that I would not be without, and that's the Verbena bonariensis. Promise me, if you haven't got them already, you will go for those. They are spectacular. But we better move on to your favourite, Bex. Yeah, let's go to the Gaura. So this is called the siskiyou pink, and I love the way that these grow. You get this lovely foliage here, and it does kind of tell a story as you go up through the stem, because you get these lovely sort of darker stems. You get the gorgeous green colour, but you also get this lovely kind of deeper maroony coloured foliage on here. And then as it grows taller, what you get is they go slightly barer up at the top, look like this, and you get that maroony coloured foliage, and then you get those pink flowers on there. And I think they are so delicate looking, so feminine looking. They look like, I mean, the stamens coming out of there, just, they're like, I don't know, it's like long eyelashes to me. That's why I think it looks really feminine, because it looks like a long eyelash. And they look like little butterflies just floating around on the top of those plants. They can reach about 80 centimetres in height, and this is why, I don't know, I've not seen it, but I do think these plants planted near the Verbena bonariensis might work quite nicely.
Yeah.
You've got the purple of the Verbena, the pink of the Gaura. You might want to mix it up with another colour just to really set it off, and that's where I think the Coreopsis might come in with that buttery yellow.
See, I have got one of these, but it's just in the wrong place. It's stuck behind a lavender, and it does get a little bit lost.
Right.
It's just not. I just know it's not in the right place. The lavender's just too dense.
Now's the time to move. As you say, we're coming into autumn, and this is the time you can move stuff around. You are going to get 3 of these 9-centimetre pots, by the way. It is a big saving. We are saving, what is that, nearly £20 here, because you're going to get all 3 of these for £9.99. That's £3.33 per pot. Even less if you're in the club, because obviously you get that 10% discount included on there as well. I think this is an absolute winner, and those flowers when they come are gorgeous, and they do flower for a long time as well. They'll probably start around May time, and they do keep going right the way through till September. Stu, you did this video what, a week or 2 ago? They have had a chop down, unfortunately, so they are going to arrive to you without the flowers on, but you're planting those and getting those established so that in May next year they're going to be brilliant.
And I know we keep saying it, but it is a fantastic month to plant. July and August are not that good because it can be too hot, plants can struggle, but now things are beginning to cool down a little bit, particular morning, perfect time to get this. And planting in 3s as well, we've got a lot of 3s here. So many garden designers do plant in 3s, it just really works. I mean, in nature, things are not normally
uniform.
They're not.
No.
And don't get me wrong, that can look good as well. But planting in 3s really, really works. There's a garden designer. I went to an open garden recently, and it was a garden designer called Bunny Guinness that had designed this garden, and there were lots of repeat 3s and patterns. It looked amazing. So if you want a bit of that, get your 3 going there at just $9.99, $8.99.
It is perfect for pollinators as well. The Royal Horticultural Society have given it that badge, so you will find you'll get the lovely pollinators flying around where those flowers are. Of course, if you're using that code to get your saving, do remember you will get your free gift included, which is the Garden News magazine. If you place an order, 1 per week over the next 4 weeks, you will get a different magazine. So this is going to feature for the next 4 weeks, but it is a different magazine every week as well. So that's a brilliant one. Sit down with a cup of tea and learn some stuff about gardening. Oh, what you found? A crossword?
There's a crossword, but it's a garden crossword.
Oh my word! I'm gonna have to have a go at that. We'll see if we can. Oh, test
actually,
our knowledge.
no. It's only certain questions.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd get competitive. Me and you doing that crossword, Bex. Who's finished it first? But no, it's a mixed one. We'd both be rubbish at that, wouldn't we?
Both be rubbish.
Anyway, yeah, that's a brilliant magazine, free with every order today. Use the off code YGTV3624. So we've had the Gaura, we've had the fantastic.
Can we do Coreopsis next? Just because I think those 3 are going to work really nicely together. And this is Coreopsis moonbeam, and the flowers on here with that yellow. That. I mean, if you were to go for Gaura and Coreopsis, or Verbena and Coreopsis, or all 3 of them, I think that these would be really, really beautiful. Yes, sorry, Stu.
I meant to buy this last year.
I'm so sorry. He's telling me off.
But I meant to buy this last year, and I never did.
Did you?
And look at the price, £4.99. Today's the day to get this Coreopsis. I'm with you. Yeah. I think yellow and purple look great together.
It's a perfect combination, absolutely. And this is a lovely buttery yellow colour. It's not a bright, sunshine yellow. It's that lovely mellow yellow. We know a song about that, don't we? And it's beautiful, long flowering. It's got the badge of perfect for pollinators as well from the Royal Horticultural Society. It's perennial, so it'll come back for you year after year. And it's just reliable, and you've got this lovely foliage, soft kind of foliage at the bottom there, and just like the Gaura, those beautiful flowers just sort of rising up out of the top. A little bit shorter than the Gaura though, so reaching maybe about 45, 50 centimetres, maybe a couple of feet at maximum, but oh, that is so pretty, isn't it?
It's got a lovely kind of prairie look, hasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, and it flowers. So it starts around probably June time-ish, depending on where you are, obviously. But it'll keep going right the way through. We're in September, it's still doing beautifully now.
Yeah, I definitely need a little bit of that with my Verbenas.
Need a little bit of that.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, like you say, purple and yellow.
Yeah.
I bet they're opposite on the colour wheel or something or other, and that's why they work so well together. I can't remember. You know the colour wheel better.
Yeah, they're not quite opposite, but they're
close enough.
Yeah, yeah. They did.
I never mind. I quite like a mash of colours. I'm not bothered.
There's no rules anyway. But I'm totally with you. I think they look really, really good together.
You can see
when
them.
you see them next to each other there on the table, fantastic.
And obviously the Verbena will be nice and tall, and the Coreopsis will be shorter in front.
Yeah, and maybe your Gaura in the middle. Yes.
Love it.
So if you'd like to go for the moonbeam, £4.99. I did mean to get that last year. I don't know why I never did. And 560773 is, of course, the code for that one.
Oh, £35 apparently if you want, 3 of your Gaura, 3 of your Verbena and 3 of those. So £35 and that'd be a really nice area that you've sorted out in a border somewhere.
Yeah, but I would try and get your order to over £40, then you'll get free delivery, don't forget as well. But we are now going to move on to, how's your vocals today? It's time for the deal of the... Hang on. No, Stu's putting us off there. We were back to a lovely harmony and then Stu was in our ear. Stu, come in and do that so our lovely viewers can actually hear what you just...
No, please don't do Screamo. They won't.
And then we'll do ours,
it.
Bex.
All right.
Okay, so we need a little sort of theme tune for Deal of the Week. This is what Stu's offering today. In you come.
What?
Come on. You know where the camera is. Deal of the Week. How did you sing it in our ear?
Deal of the Week.
No, you didn't sing it like that, no.
Yeah, he can't do Screamo at them. They won't appreciate that.
What did you actually sing in our ear?
Deal of the Week.
Exactly. That's what we heard in our ear. Thanks, Stu. The other one was nice, wasn't it? So, yes, it is our Deal of the Week.
The sooner we get a jingle, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
And it is our Lavatera marshmallow. 3 of these for £10.99. I saw these on the nursery a few weeks ago, and they just look spectacular. Now, again, they may arrive chopped down at this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely, it happens. But what you're doing is planting these ready for next year. Get them in the ground now. Get their roots established. And then next year, in autumn, you'll start seeing that foliage start to pop up. You will get the flowers from around June time. And these are just beautiful, voluminous clouds of colour all over that foliage. Rooty beauty there. Look at that.
Yeah. But they are really well-established plants already. I always think Lavatera are really quite fast-growing as well.
Yeah, so the thing is, because you chop them down, and this is when you chop them down, sort of in autumn time, you'll chop them down to probably 30 centimetres, and then in a full season, these can grow to nearly as tall as Shaun, about 1.5 metres.
And they are never worried about chopping them back. I've sometimes chopped mine back in springtime, early spring, but they always flower on the new growth, so you get loads of flowers, even if you chop them quite hard back.
Yeah, and they don't form like thick, dense bushes. They actually work really beautifully in borders because they kind of meander a little bit, don't they, into the other plants. And they create these beautiful large flowers that are nectar rich. Pollinators adore them. It's also quite drought tolerant once it gets established as well. So not one that you need to be out there watering constantly.
Now, we have had a question about the free magazine today. And what was the question, Stu?
Is it a current magazine?
Yeah. So September the 7th. There you go. So yes. And then next week's would be September the 14th, and you get the September 21st and September the 28th.
What is the date today? I feel like we've travelled in time because that's September the 7th. Yeah, it is current, absolutely.
Yeah. Always in the magazine, they always put the date that it expires on it, don't they?
Is that what they do?
Yeah. I know that from my mum's Take a Break.
Oh, Take a Break. I used to love that. My nan used to do that as well.
My mum loves to take a break.
Love a take a break.
Anyway, the Lavatera, there are 3 gorgeous different varieties, 5-1, 5-7, but that is the Deal of the
Week. We've got no chance of harmonising, have we?
We really haven't.
Singing is not my forte.
No. Neither is it mine. Right.
It's not Stu's either, from what he just screamed in my ear.
We have got a gorgeous first spring tulip and crocus mix for you right now. 30 bulbs. Do you know what? I'd actually forgot. I was thinking there were $9.99 in my head. $4.99. This should also be a deal of the week, shouldn't it?
It should be at that price, absolutely, yeah.
Deal of the month, my word.
The mixture you're getting in here is gorgeous. So first of all, you've got your crocus in there, so one of the earliest of all of the spring bulbs. You know, I think snowdrops are the only one that beats it. The snowdrops will come out earlier, but the crocus are fast on the heels of the snowdrop, popping up out of the ground. And then what you've got are the Johann Strauss tulips in there. And I love the Johann Strauss tulips. You've got those, I mean, they're not the cup-shaped tulips, are they? Because you've got the separation between the petals, but it's that stripe of pink or maroon or whatever colour you'd call that on the outside, and then that just like egg yolk yellow in the centre. I think that is a stunning, stunning tulip there.
Well, I know my mum had these last year in hanging baskets at the back, and they were pretty amazing.
They're
and they're a
good.
smaller tulip. They're not huge.
Admittedly, yeah.
They're great for pots and hanging baskets, but they're really quite dramatic, aren't they?
And you could do your lasagna planting with this one, because obviously your crocus are going to come out first, and the tulips will come out a little bit later. But you can easily tell the difference between the bulbs in the bag. So it's a mixed bag, but the smaller ones are the crocus and the larger ones are the tulips. That's quite obvious to see when you get the bag home. And then you could do your lasagna planting and put them both into the same pot. And then that one pot gives you a couple of months worth of colour. And if you mixed maybe some, I don't know, some daffodils or another bulb in there, you could get even longer out of the flowering.
I tell you what, for $4.99, Bex, that is really good.
Bargain, isn't it?
Really
I mean, you'll get
is.
30 bulbs included in there. That's really good.
That is really good.
Yeah.
And the tulip bulbs are really big size as well.
Yeah, and as we say with all of the bulbs we bring you, these are excellent quality, and we always have a squeeze. We often open up the bags, but you can tell by squeezing those, they're firm. There's no squishy, horrible bulbs in there, and I've bought cheaper, nastier, well, not cheaper than this actually, but I've bought bulbs in the past from other places, and they are squishy, and you just know that there's going to be a problem with that one flowering. We never have that with our bulbs, do we?
I'm just gobsmacked at that price. I'm sure I paid loads more last year.
Yeah, you will have done.
Yeah,
I don't remember doing this
$4.99 for
price.
30 bulbs. Wow. Seriously. I'm going to be multi-ordinary because it's a lovely combination.
It is.
It really is. I mean, we had them from, we said my mum did them in hanging baskets last year, but I don't know if she kept the bulbs. I don't know.
Oh.
You should do. I'm not sure she did. But anyway, $4.99 for 30 bulbs. Absolutely stunning. And yes, that's going to be one of the best deals we've ever done when it comes to spring flowering bulbs. Right, Bex, we've got loads coming up still, haven't we?
We have. I'll go and change the table over while you remind everybody of what we've seen.
What do you fancy next?
Oh, do you know, I don't know. Well, there's the Allium bulbs. Oh, and we've got the blue, we've got the pink lemonade, the blueberry,
yes,
which I am growing, and there is one blueberry on mine this year. It's a baby, so it takes a bit of time. Next year it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
You've got to let me establish first.
It's always exciting when you get your first crop.
There's one there, and I can't wait.
Just don't eat it all at once, Bex. That's what I'm going to say.
Cut it in half.
Right, let's remind you of some of the great deals we've had so far on YGTV. Lovely to have all your company. Great to have so many of you watching live on YouTube, Facebook, and of course on the YouGarden website. And I know we keep mentioning it, but that brilliant magazine is free with every single order today. Next week, you'll get the next copy, and we're going to do it for 4 weeks running, so you really get to read so many fantastic articles for free. But we start off with the Pansy Cool Wave, berries and cream. Now, this is a buy one, get one free. So you get 10 garden ready plants, you get another 10 absolutely free for just $14.99 or $13.49 is that discount club price. And don't forget, you can join the club today for £5 on auto renewal. And there's Pansy Cool Wave, they'll flower for 10 months of the year, and they're gently cascade. But then we also brought you Primrose bonelli mix. Now you've got lovely colours here. Some are bi-colour, some are single coloured. You've got red, you've got yellows, you've got blues, you've got creams. Pretty much every colour of the rainbow is in there. And they are garden ready, so you do not need to do any growing. They are literally ready to go straight away in pots, containers, hanging baskets, and of course in your beds and borders. And they are a perennial. These will come back year after year. They'll form clumps. You can divide them and get even more primroses in your garden. But magnificent value at $14.99, 410046. And then we brought you some beautiful Viola sorbet. Now these are called Tiger's Eye, and They're a really unusual viola. They're quite dramatic, they're very eye-catching. You've got these incredible kind of markings and veins in them as well. And again, they're garden ready, so can go straight out right now. So if you maybe want to try something a little bit different, I grew these last year in the pub garden and had loads of compliments actually. Loads of people said, oh, I love those, a little bit different. So they are known as Tiger Eye, and you get 30 garden ready plants, and they are half price today, 410158. Then we brought you the Erigeron, often known as Mexican fleabane, this one. So it's a daisy flower, it's a simple flower that actually, and I'll just put it out there, the individual flowers, they're pretty, but it's the fact that these flower en masse that I think gives them their drama, because you just get a carpet of colour. And the flowers, when they first open up, they're white, but as they age, they go through various stages of pink. And they look absolutely amazing. Now, it's a very, very hard-working plant that can tolerate pretty poor conditions. So it will grow in gravelled areas, it will grow in poor soils, it just likes a sunny spot. In late autumn, early winter, chop it right back and it will just bounce back. It's fully winter hard, it will bounce back the next year and cover even more space. But I've got, I say, a whole area in my garden just covered in this, and it looks amazing. 410120. Now, we've also got a mix and match offer with hollyhocks and the Erigeron. So both those on the same deal, 3 for 2, and these are the Chater mix. Now, hollyhocks, you'll probably know, they flower late summer. They have incredible height. I mean, my mum's got some in her garden that must be about 8 foot in terms of height. Again, they can tolerate really quite poor conditions. You sometimes see them growing out of cracks in the pavement, you see them in coastal towns, things like that. But what makes these really special is that they are doubles, so the flowers are even more magnificent. I love the way hollyhocks open up, so the flowers start opening from the bottom of the stems and then slowly but surely all the way up to the top. Quite often they will self-seed as well, so you get some little babies absolutely free. And that's 410121 for the hollyhock Chater mix there. 10 garden ready plants, but they are on the 3 for 2 deal. Then we brought you some more plug plants, but these are the pro plugs. So these are the most affordable plugs that we do. They're the best value, but they will need a little bit of growing on. Now, that's not a big job. So I know Neil's growing his pro plugs. Bex and I both grew a lot of pro plugs this summer, but you need to give them the good water when they arrive, pot them up as soon as possible, and then in about, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks, they should be garden ready. So just a little bit of work, but you will reap the rewards. And again, these are going to flower all through those kind of like winter months, spring months, and just die down in the summer, but they will come back for many, many years. 410168 for the Primrose Harlequin. And then the other pro plugs that we've got for you are the ones that I'm going for today. And these are the Cascadia XL Trading. Now, it's only recently where there's been a breeding breakthrough to create a trailing pansy. For many years, there were just clump-forming pansies that we had to make do in the winter, but these properly trail. So if you think, oh, shall I go for the Cool Wave or the Cascadia XL, these will trail more. Do bear that in mind. They will trail 40, 50 centimetres. They are a proper trailing pansy. Probably out of all the pansies we bring you, probably the one that trails the most, actually. And again, you've got 60 plug plants for just £19.99. 401172 is, of course, your item number for those. And then also in my basket today, we have got the Narcissus tête-à-tête. I love these. So they're only going to grow to about 20 centimetres, 25 absolute max. They are the prettiest little mini daffodils that you can imagine. And it's so wonderful for me when we get into March and the tête-à-tête start to open up around about Mother's Day normally. It just is an absolute joy. And you can put these wherever you want, pots, baskets, beds and borders, rockeries. They are just a fantastic bulb. And obviously they will come back for many, many years and they'll naturalise and they'll spread. But this next year, this next springtime, you will still have the most amazing displays. The value on those to get 100 is incredible. 630,091. Then we brought you 5 amazing deals. The Lavatera marshmallow is the deal of the week. So for a very short time, you can get 3 of these. Now, Lavatera, fast growing. They've got really nice natural growing habits, so they're not formal in their approach. They sort of like mix, meander. They will flower for many months of the summer. Mine's just gone back now, but it started to flower kind of June time. They love a sunny position, well-drained soil. They always flower on new growth, so you can cut them right back when you need to, and then they'll still flower magnificently. And sometimes they can grow a metre or so in a single season. They are really quite fast growing, but they are not invasive. And you get 3 lovely varieties there. A full kind of creamy white, a white with a pink centre, and then a pink with a slightly white centre. And that is 511527 for the Lavatera marshmallow. Now, one of Bex's recommendations today is the Coreopsis moonbeam. This is a lovely kind of prairie plant. Great for the front of a border, only going to go to about 40 to 50 centimetres. Again, it's long flowering. It's great for pollinators. It's a lovely creamy yellow, so not too brash or anything like that, and just an absolute delight. It looks great on mass, but it works so well with some other plants in your garden as well. It is a perennial. It will come back every single year. 560 773. Now, if I was to recommend one plant today personally, it is the Verbena. So that's me recommending it right now. That's one side of my garden, and look how beautiful that Verbena is. Now, don't think you need a strange patio like mine, because I've got mine grown up against a bit of an awkward patio that you don't want to fall off, believe me. But it works really well in beds and borders. You often see this featured in one of the top gardening programs. We call it a transparent plant because you can see through it. It's never too dense. I mean, look at that. We're losing none of the view there, but we've just got hundreds, thousands of these gorgeous flowers that the pollinators absolutely love. Fully winter hardy. Comes back every year. Mine have all self-seeded, so I've got about 100 free plants this year as well. So I leave the flower heads on over the winter months because they still look attractive, and I've got hundreds of free plants as well. So absolutely recommend those. 560910. And then we brought the Gaura, the siskiyou pink. $9.99 for 3 of these. Now again, this is going to flower kind of midsummer onwards. Beautiful, almost like little butterfly flowers on this one. Gorgeous pink as well, and a very, very winter hardy perennial that will bounce back every single year. I normally trim mine down sort of springtime if it gets a bit leggy, and it just has loads of new growth and flowers on that new growth as well. 560,898 for the Gaura siskiyou pink there as well. And then finally, we brought you the Geranium rozanne. Now, oh God, the awards that this has won. RHS Award of Garden Merit, Plant of the Centenary at Chelsea, the Award of Perfect for Pollinators, and it gets our award at YouGarden of just being an absolute winner. 562.92, and the great thing is it's low maintenance. I haven't deadheaded mine, I haven't fed it really much this year at all, but it has performed magnificently. Just have a look at this. This is Geranium rozanne in my garden, and there's 2 plants in. I planted them almost 3 years ago. They were in 2-litre pots, I remember, and they've just gone absolutely crazy, and they're beautiful. And I'll be honest, this summer I haven't fed them yet, I haven't deadheaded, I haven't trimmed them, I've just let them do their own thing. And what is so lovely, the colour is amazing. So from the top of the garden, you see this just mass of mauve. They, for me, are just such a wonderful plant, and I can see why they won Plant of the Centenary at Chelsea. And what that basically means is, in 1913, Chelsea was celebrating its 100th year, and this plant was chosen to be the best plant over that 100 years. So absolutely incredible. Now, in the wintertime, it will die down, and what I'm going to do in spring, I'm going to separate them a bit because they've gone a bit wild here. I might even divide them as well, because you can divide them. But for the time being, for the rest of this summer, I'm just going to leave them because they look absolutely glorious. The pollinators love them as well. And the amount of colour you get, I mean, there's hundreds of flowers there, and these have looked this good for the last several months. It's an amazing plant, and one I'd highly recommend in any garden.
Hasn't he got a beautiful garden? And that geranium rozanne just looks absolutely at home there. I can see why he wants to plant some more. Do get hold of yours if you can today. It's 560292. It's in that 2-litre pot, and it is a £5 saving. So we've taken a full third off the price of that for you. All you have to do is enter the code YGTV3624 in order to get that saving. And of course, you will also get your free gift included in your order, which is that beautiful Garden News magazine. It's a current issue. It's got the date of September 7th on there, and we're doing an offer on this every week for the next 4 weeks, where you'll get a different magazine each week if you place that order. Sean's just too busy reading it, basically.
It's really good.
It's a great magazine, isn't it?
I like the diversity of the articles, actually.
Yeah, there's lots in there. There's something for everybody.
And I think sometimes you read a magazine and you just get inspired. You think, oh, yeah, I might have a go at growing that this year.
I need to find a space, but I've always fancied having a go at creating my own compost area, and I haven't got the room for it at the minute, but I'm going to do that at some point.
I think I'm just going to stick with ours.
Stick with ours. Right, let's have a little look in the chat as well, because Neil's been in touch, and actually it's a lot of these are all to do with the favourites table. So Neil sent us a picture of his beautiful Gaura, which is in a pot next to his front door, I think it's what he said, and it is looking absolutely fantastic. Look at that.
Neil, that looks... mine is definitely in the wrong position. I might put mine in a pot, you know.
Yeah, it wants to be in a nice sunny position, and it works beautifully in a pot all by itself, although I've been talking about it mixed in with a few other plants. That works gorgeously on its own.
Love that, Neil. Thank you very much.
Very nice, Neil. Well done. Thank you very much. We've had an email in from Elaine as well, and
Morning, Elaine.
The next two about the Coreopsis. So, I mean, what a perfect spot for this to go. Lovely sort of gravel garden, softening off those edges. That looks really pretty. And what is that blue flower there?
Just gorgeous.
That's that one that you grew, isn't it?
Anagallis.
Yeah, Anagallis, the sky lover. Oh, and she's got her primrose going there. What?
I say it's Anagallis.
It looks like it could be. It's a very bright blue, anyway.
The flower is just, it's hard to can't quite see the foliage, but the flower looks like an Anagallis, but the foliage doesn't. I can't quite see it.
You know, I can't stop myself. Always looking at the gardens. So thank you very much, Elaine. And Alison also sent us a picture of the Coreopsis, saying, "I have this Coreopsis, but at that price, I'm getting more." I'm not surprised. Yeah. That's not Coreopsis though. That's an oleander. That's a yellow oleander. So, Amanda, I don't know if you've sent the wrong picture or you're getting the two mixed up, but anyway,
Amanda,
that's beautiful.
if you have, we love your oleander.
We do love your oleander. Yes. That's gorgeous. And then finally from Tony, do you remember Tony was asking us, he had that bit out the front.
I remember.
Where he'd got all the perennial plants, but he was saying, I don't spend much time out there.
I didn't. Yeah, I remember,
And so I feel like it's a waste of plants. Have you got any suggestions of what we could plant there?
We suggested Sambucus goldstring, didn't we?
Yeah.
Sambucus...
Sutherland Gold.
Sutherland Gold, that's it.
And the Fatsia. So he sent us a picture saying, I thought I'd send you a picture of the Fatsia and the Sambucus in their picture, in their position, along with a few others.
That looks...
And look at that.
Right,
that is going to work so beautifully.
And you know what I said about planting in threes? Those Sambucus are going to look really good there. And the Fatsia looks really good already, don't you think?
So good.
Yeah.
Honestly, as that grows, that's going to be absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I think you might want to put the Sambucus at the back, but listen, you can make that decision as and when.
But the Sambucus will probably grow a lot. Well, it will.
But what he was saying is he needs to get access to those cupboards in the back. Well, with those 4 pots, you're still going to be able to get in there and get access. You'll be absolutely fine.
Send us some pictures next year, because the Sambucus is really fast growing. They look amazing next year, but they look lovely now.
Yeah, really liking that, Tony.
Did he get them when they were $4.99? For 3?
Yeah, it was the $4.99 for 3 deal. Yeah. Oh, I just clicked off it. Oh, look at that. That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Wow.
Wow, look at that.
Well, that should still be flying, to be fair. Yeah, really lovely.
Look at all those pots he's got going on as well.
I know.
So much going on in there. Hang on, he sent more pictures as well. Let's have a look. That was number 3. Oh.
We do love this, you know.
Let's have another look.
Don't we?
Oh, yes.
Oh, God. Hang on, let me look. Can you zoom in for me, Bex?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my word.
I love those hanging baskets on the fence there as well. Just adding that extra height. That is such a good display.
Isn't
Look at
it?
that. I'm jealous, Tony. That looks
Do you know,
so good.
And the cordyline there taking centre stage.
Really sets it all
Doesn't it?
off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is whenever we talk about cordylines and we talk about the contrast, that's exactly what we mean right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That picture. Yeah, different shape, different colour really does set everything to, sets it off.
And do you know, sometimes spiky and soft really works, doesn't it?
So do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally love that.
Let me just click on the last picture and have a little look.
So,
and this one's the Imperata, the red baron look in a pot there with our Laval planter. And loads of the other ones around the edges there as well.
And the red barons are really changing
Miner's
colour now, aren't
Merlot.
they?
Looking great. Well done,
Yes.
Tony. Fantastic. So
Thanks,
thank you,
Tony.
all of you, for sending those pictures in. I love that you send us these things. ygtv@yougarden.com is the email address. So if you want us to show any of your pictures, please email them in. We love seeing your gardens. We've got a lovely community here. We're all very supportive and complimentary about each other. And everybody has different gardens, and that's what we like seeing.
Now, I want to know which cordyline that was. I think it looks like Charlie Boy, maybe? Do you think?
Maybe.
Yeah, just like, was it Charlie Boy? Don't think it's Can-Can, because it looks too red.
Don't think it was Can-Can,
Got
but it
Can-Can
could have
coming
been
up
Charlie
there.
Boy.
Yes. But yeah, looked like Charlie Boy to me. Handsome chap. Right, so we're going to move on now to our best-selling compost. See, I'm not going to make my own compost, Bex. I'm going to
No, do you know what? I say I'm going to. I'm never going to do it.
When you can order this.
I'm never going to do it.
With your club discount, $22.48, delivered to your door. Right, true story, OK, so I'll make this really brief because there's so much to talk about with our compost. But a friend of mine that's part of the garden club that I run, Sue, she bought a special compost. I better not say the brand name, but it's one that makes... It relies on making compost quickly, and it relies on heat and things, right?
Right, OK, yep.
To cut a long story short, it has worked out the most expensive way ever to make compost. Yeah, and she spent hundreds on it, and it's a standing joke in the garden club. Because this composter she bought and spent hundreds on has produced
nothing.
It produced some brown liquid at one point that just came out the bottom. Yeah, that smelt vile. So look, I'm not going to say to anybody, don't have a go at making your own compost, but there is a skill, there is an art.
Yeah.
And actually, quite often, if you've got your own composter, it takes 2 or 3 years to really get the cycle going.
Yeah.
Or you could just buy ours.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. You're never going to stop buying our compost, Bex.
I'm never going to stop.
While it's available, we will both keep buying it. But it's 100,125. It's our premium professional compost, 100 litres for just $24.98.
Stu just got his delivery, didn't he? His little ring doorbell went. He has literally just received his delivery.
And now is the time. Now is the time to really, really get busy in your garden, move things around, give things in the wrong spot. You'd be starting doing your winter hanging baskets, your winter tubs containers, house plants, great time to repot those as well. But now is the time to really stock up on our premium professional compost. And we're always, I think the months we're the most busy, generally speaking, kind of March time, February, March, and September, October. They're really busy times.
Well, this is where we're doing lots of work in the garden, isn't it? You know, we've sat back during the summer months. We've enjoyed the hard work that we did in springtime. Now it's time to do that hard work again so that we can sit back and watch in springtime when those other things start coming up. This is the gardening calendar. So, yeah, we do find we sell lots throughout the entire year, but at those 2 particular times. And the reason we sell so much of this particular compost, our premium professional compost, is because it is so very good. I know all of you regulars, you already know this, so I don't know, go make a cup of tea if you're bored of listening to this. But anybody that's new, that has not tried this compost, I really do urge you to give this a go. And our regulars will tell you exactly the same thing. If you go and read all of the reviews, you will see how good this is. People will often say, I used to use other composts, now I've used this, I'm never going to use anything else. It's the gold medal product. I mean, it's because it gives you green fingers overnight, and it's because of the formulation, the ingredients in here. A simple formulation, but a very, very clever one.
And just to give you a bit of history and background, this compost was developed for our nursery. It was used just in our nursery for many, many years as a commercial product. So anything that we still grow in the nursery, hundreds of thousands of roses are grown from bare roots in this compost. All of our pre-planted hanging baskets grown in this compost. Whenever we pot things up from a 1 litre to 2 litre to 3 litre pot, it's all done in this compost. So it has got to be the very best. You imagine mentioned, this is an 11-acre nursery. We have got other sites as well, but everything that we grow is grown in this compost. If there was a better compost, YouGarden would be using it. So it is the very best, and it is a commercial product. So there's no bumf, spiel, fancy writing, promises on the packet, none of that. It's a commercial product. But what is actually in it? Where should we start, Bex?
Composted wood fibre, and you can actually see that when you look at the compost. You can see these little fibres running through it. It's incredibly well composted. That's one thing I will point out. There's no great big sticks and chunks and lumps in here. It's so well composted. I've been frustrated in the past where I buy another bag of compost and I'm picking out great big twigs before I can even start planting. This is very well composted, and that fibre in there gives it this lovely light and airy texture that allows for root development and growth. First of all, it allows oxygen to get to the roots, which is a really important part of root growth. If you've got a strong root structure, you'll have a stronger plant. You'll have one that's going to give you more flowers, more fruits, one that's going to be able to deal with our really weird weather that we get in this country.
Absolutely.
But also, if there's any pests and diseases, that would normally harm a plant, hopefully your plant will be so much stronger, so it'll be able to deal with that a bit more.
Now, you've also got 3 different types of peat in here. You've got the white peat, the dark peat, and the sphagnum moss peat, which is, of course, renewable. And I'm just going to put it out there. We all know that we are having to move towards peat-free. But if you've ever, I've tried peat-free, and we do sell some here at YouGarden. I did a bit of an experiment with my tomatoes this year, and the ones that I grew in peat-free, the problem was the compost kept drying out too quickly. It didn't seem to absorb the food. And actually, our head gardener, Peter, has recently done a whole article about peat compost versus peat-free and where we're going. It's a big debate, but this still has an element of peat in it. We have reduced it, obviously, to match environmental needs and issues, but you still have got that peat in there. And that, we have used peat for many, many years, and that can make such a difference. But as I say, obviously, over the next few years, we will be moving away from it, but we have massively reduced the quantities, but you've still got that element of peat in there.
We've got a slow-release fertiliser in here, and you'll see it's made up of these little green balls that you'll find throughout the compost. And that's like a little shell. It breaks down, and then it releases the feed into the compost. So it's a great way of your plants being able to get hold of that feed as and when they need it, not when you remember to do it. And I'm bad at remembering to do it.
Yeah, and that is, it's like, we call it an insurance. You know that those plants are going to get food for about 5 to 6 months of the year.
Absolutely.
And that is actually quite an expensive ingredient. That's why it's not often included in other composts. Now, one of my favourite components is the wetting agent, because I look after the pub garden in our village, as some of you know, and I do loads of hanging baskets. Now, there's nothing worse than a hanging basket or a container drying out, and it can happen in a few hours, can't it?
It can easily.
Sunny, windy day, a basket can just dry out, and it can go from beautiful to like, ugh. Have you ever tried to re-water a hanging basket and all the water has literally just gone straight over the top, and that is so annoying. Especially when it ruins your hair. I mean, not so bad for me because I don't have much, but for you, Bex, you spent a while today doing the hair.
Absolutely.
You don't want to, but you don't want to be wasting water or feed. And what this does, it makes the water simply stick to the compost like that, and that really allows it to rehydrate so super quickly. That's one of my favourite ingredients, actually.
Yeah, and the other thing with this is that it's pH balanced. So the pH level of your soil can be really important if you're planting something like azaleas and rhododendrons and blueberries, for example, because they want to be in an ericaceous and acid level of pH soil. But this is somewhere in the middle, basically. So just the right point for it to be really perfect for the majority of the plants that you're going to put into your garden, or even for houseplants as well. It's going to work beautifully for those. So I have to say, like 98% of the things you're going to put in your house or in your garden, this is going to work beautifully for. If you need ericaceous compost, we've got that on the website, but that's only for a few plants you need that for.
And can I just say, if you're not a club member, who's not a club member watching right now?
Yeah.
Put your hand up, we can see you.
If you need compost, wow.
We've got new technology, we can see you. You're not a club member. If you're not a club member, we can't, don't worry. But if you're not a club member, Join today and you'll instantly save £2.50 on this, and it's only £5 to join for the entire year. And you get 4 £5 vouchers when you join that you can use against orders that you're placing straight away. You've got to do separate orders, but if in one day you want to place 4 orders and use 4 £5 vouchers, you can do it. But it's worth joining the club just for compost alone.
And you can start saving on your club membership literally from the first order that you place. A pack gets sent out to you with the vouchers and all the information, but you can save the 10% right now today. All you have to do is click a button and join the club. And
when you're on the website, it will give you a little reminder how you can save, how you can join, but do it today, even if you just buying compost. It's really, really worth it. 100 125 there. We do love this compost. I think that came across, didn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yes.
We're going all the way, Stu. Ah, yes, the Choisya is going to be first of all.
Yes.
So Choisya ternata, and I do love Choisya in the garden. I've got a slightly different variety,
same here.
But it is absolutely stunning, and it doesn't really matter what variety of Choisya you go for.
What do you love it for?
Right, I love it because, well, there's a few things, but it's evergreen, so never drops its leaves, always looks neat and tidy as well. It doesn't get unruly, it's nice and dense and compact. Minimal maintenance. I occasionally will prune just a stray stem that's poking out, but other than that, I don't do much to it at all. But it's the fragrance of the flowers that come on here in springtime, about April time, lasting a long time as well. You know, they're on there for a good probably 5 or 6 weeks, and the sweet citrus orange blossom fragrance that you get from this is incredible.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. For me, it is that fragrance that is just absolutely
it's so
beautiful.
And pollinators adore this plant as well. It's got the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit too, so it's a super easy one, and it's drought tolerant.
Do you know, I mean, a garden is a journey, isn't it? And it's always changing. But I do sometimes regret parts of my garden where I've got too many plants that are deciduous, because it's, you know, when you've got borders that are half empty for many months of the year.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it?
It is tricky, but the fact that this is evergreen, and it's very neat as well. I think Choisyas, they're not a straggly plant. They're really quite neat, moderate growing, so they don't go too quickly, they don't take over. But when they flower, generally speaking, they are covered as well.
Completely.
You don't just get a few, that you can get a whole mass of white, and the scent is probably one of the most beautiful scents that you could ever have in your garden, actually.
And it's a really long-lived perennial plant as well. You know, you'll have this in your garden for such a long time. It's beautiful, and I think it's perfect in a mixed border, personally. But if you wanted to put it in a pot and have it in a pot, you absolutely could. It can get to probably a good couple of meters in height and width, but I don't think it'd be difficult for you to keep it in a pot if you wanted to. We're just trying to look for some pots. I don't think we brought any in, did we? Where are the helix?
We need the big helix, don't we?
I'll go and get the helix. You carry on talking. I'll go and get them.
So I was going to say, if you plant this in a pot, I mean, it makes a brilliant centrepiece. And some of the winter bedding that we've got, like the pansy cool wave, tiger's eye, would look amazing around here as well. But at this kind of size, it would be very happy in something like a 30 centimetre pot for the next few years. You could put it in big, of course, as well. Loves a sunny position, so just bear that in mind. Full sun would be superb for it. But very, very low maintenance. Moderate in terms of its growth pattern. Flowers early springtime, so there's sort of like March, April months, you will get this amazing blossom that has this fabulous citrusy smell, and you will get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of flowers. Now, if you are a club member, you can grab this beauty today for £6.74. Oh, that's a good choice, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a few choices when it comes to our helix planters. This is the larger one that we've got. This is the 13-inch, and that one is the black and silver. We do have a black and bronze, and we do have a sort of a terracotta-looking one as well, but they're all the same design, and you could keep it in there, I mean, for a few seasons, because they are nice and slow growing, and then you might want to go into a slightly larger pot after that, but that would be beautiful in there.
To me, that that, say, with a few bedding plants around it, your violas, pansy wave, something like
gorgeous.
that. Yeah, or some of the gorgeous primroses we've got. But yeah, love that. So that's the silver. Buy one, get one free, by the way. So you're going to get 2 of those for $10.79 if you're in the club, $11.99 if you're not.
And this one is the black and bronze. It's sort of bronzy, goldy colour to it.
If I
You
put
can
that
see the
next to
difference.
it.
If you, and these are still buy one, get one free as well. So all of these are on the buy one, get one free deal. Or you can go for the sort of, we call it powdered clay. It's got that terracotta colour to it.
So I'm laughing because we always call it terranotta because it's not terracotta, but it's got that whole look. You would never know that wasn't terracotta,
Absolutely
would you?
not, no. It looks like a beautiful sort of stone and carved around the edge. It isn't a mix and match deal, so put one in your basket, you will get another one of the same colour. But obviously if you want to get, different colours, just put more of those in your basket. The number you put in your basket, you'll get the same number absolutely free, as long as you're using that code YGTV3624. And
I'm going to say right now, if we get another wet winter like the one last year, and hopefully we won't, but that does seem to be the new sort of weather patterns that we're getting. You'll know if you follow climate change. The UK tends to be getting warmer but wetter, so more rain but warmer months. Very important that you've got good drainage, and all of our pots here at YouGarden, they've all got great drainage, and that is so important. I've got a few pots that are not from YouGarden with just one hole in the middle, and they so easily get waterlogged. But with these, they tend not to, because you've got the drainage channels as well. But they really, really have everything you need, and frost-proof, UV resistant, lightweight. Because now I'm a little bit older, Bex, a heavy pot, no good for me.
Absolutely. Well, that's the 13-inch diameter. We do have exactly the same colour options available in the 10-inch diameter as well. So in the powdered clay, in the black and bronze, and in the black and silver. We won't run through all those details because that would just be boring for you. But if you want to see them all, if you go to the website, click on the Live Now page, scroll down. Are they still at the bottom, Stu? I think if you have to, you scroll down through all the plants, and the pots will all come up at the bottom, so you can mix and match and get whichever ones you want.
And I think it sometimes looks really nice with different size pots as well.
Yeah, and having a family of them works great as well. We did do a really big one, didn't we, in the powdered clay, so you can get the full family of them.
Yeah, but basically, as the prices increase, the size of the pot increases.
Yeah.
But they're all there on our website. So just pick your colour, pick your size, put one in your basket, and we will give you another one absolutely free. But you do need to use that code YGTV3624. Interesting. These are real terracotta trays that we've got here.
They are. And
these are obviously faux terracotta. I think these look more real than those. Do you know what I mean? To me, they look plastic, and these look real.
Those look real.
Do you agree?
Maybe it's the pattern around it.
Yeah.
Because it looks a bit weathered around the edges, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, to me that looks like shiny and plastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is they are very, very authentic, realistic, but you've got none of the problems with terracotta. They're not going to break, they're not going to be affected by frost.
They're not going to leach all the moisture out of the soil.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah. So, I use terracotta for a few things because they like to dry out. Like my aloe veras, for example, they like to dry out before being watered, so I will use terracotta for those. But there aren't many plants that enjoy that, so, yeah.
That's a good point, actually. But thanks. Amazing value, buy one, get one free. Right. We're going to move on to
Hyacinth next.
Yes.
So we've got our mixed hyacinth bulbs here. It is a pack of, is it 15?
Yeah, it's a value pack.
15 pack
God,
of...
that's good at $9.99.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a pack of 15 of our mixed hyacinths, and they are big. It looks like a red onion, doesn't it? It looks like a red onion. Please don't chop it up. No, this is the beautiful garden hyacinths, and these are absolutely incredible when you want to fill your garden with a rainbow of colour, but also fragrance as well. Of course, you can plant these and grow these indoors, and if you plant these now and grow them indoors, they will flower a little bit earlier. They can be flowering in around January time and fill your home with that fragrance. You can then take those and plant them outside for subsequent years. I always struggle with that word. But if you plant them in your garden, you will get them as spring flowering, so flowering around April time.
I was just thinking about how clever bulbs are, because they really are little powerhouses, aren't they, when you look at those. And I don't know if you've ever done this, but have you ever grown hyacinths in just water?
No.
Yeah, you can actually, it came from Victorian times, but my mum always, she's got it's a special like hyacinth container, but it's a bowl, and the hyacinth just sort of like sits in a rim, With
So you just put that in?
Yeah, it will literally, a hyacinth will flower just on water alone because everything's in there that it needs. It's ridiculous.
Maybe we should do that. Let's get a bowl, stick one in some water.
You need, I mean, there are special kind of bowls and containers for them, so the whole thing's not submerged. But yeah, hyacinth, have you ever,
Oh, no, I haven't seen it. That's amazing.
But it's just remarkable, isn't it? Because it's got everything it needs in there already.
Look, and you're going to get those lollipops. I just call them lollipops, but look at the colours that you're going to get included in this mix. They are incredible. The fragrance is so gorgeous. This is why we actually really enjoy having hyacinths in the garden, and very, very easy to plant. Remember the rules with planting bulbs, like 2 to 3 times the depth of the height of the bulb, pointy side upwards. Leave the flower to die back down into the bulb once the flower and the foliage to die back down, and then it'll come back for you year after year. Super easy.
And I think hyacinths, out of all the bulbs, they definitely do tend to flower for many, many years. I think certain tulips, to be honest, sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't, but hyacinths, absolutely.
Yeah, they keep going, don't they?
So I'm just looking at the price, because hyacinths are a more expensive bulb with them being bigger and doing a big display. That's really good, isn't it?
Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah, at $9.99, absolutely. So less than £1 a bulb and many years worth of flowers from those.
Trying to do them. My maths isn't quite on form today. About 65p a bulb, something like that.
Something like that.
If it was 60p a bulb, it'd be 9. Actually, for club members, it's 60p a bulb. I'll leave it there. Okay. Club members, 60p a bulb. If you're not a club member, it's 66 pence a bulb. Right, we're going to move on now to the most stunning selection of tulips. Now, I think these would work really well if you're going to really coordinate colour-wise with the pansy cool red berries and cream.
Oh, yeah.
If you wanted to do all purples and whites.
Absolutely. I've seen that in a lot of gardens, the purple and white theme. That is quite a popular one. And that's why this particular pack of bulbs that we've got here is one of the most popular. We do so many different types of bulbs and so many different types of tulip, but this one is a firm bestseller every year that we've brought it. I don't know how long we've been bringing it for now. But yeah, it is a firm bestseller.
It was definitely on the show.
It was on the previous world, wasn't it? The previous world.
Yes.
Let's call it that and leave it there.
Yes.
And it's that mixture of the purple.
Just to fill you in if you don't know, Bex and I used to work on a shopping channel for many years, didn't we?
Many years, 20 years.
And we had a lovely time. But it's so nice just to be working now here at the nursery with
on the subject that we enjoy.
Yeah. Talk about plants, learning about plants, it's a bit of a dream, actually. Yeah. But yeah, so this mix has been really popular. 25 bulbs for, again, $9.99.
Yeah, and it's that elegant colour combination, isn't it? You've got the purples and the whites in there. Now, if this was a truly purple mix and it didn't have the whites in there, it wouldn't be as standout. You need that contrast with the white. And then it's those other ones with the fimbriata edges, the one where it looks like somebody's taken pinking shears to the edges of the petals. This is just an absolute beautiful mix, and I can't wait to grow these. I should have grown them this year and I didn't, so I'm planting these for my spring display next year because it's one of their most elegant and beautiful combinations.
And I know last year you did grow a lot of tulips.
Loads of them,
and they did look amazing.
I mean, I loved it.
Yeah.
I put them all in pots and put them on my dining table, my outdoors table, and that meant that I could just look out of the kitchen window and see the beautiful displays of all the tulips.
And again, Bex, I can't remember, I think you did them in mixture pots.
Whole mixture.
But because you get the height with tulips, something like the helix planters, the bigger ones would look amazing.
Yeah, great in there.
Yeah.
And I think, I wouldn't mix these up with any other colours personally. This is one where you want a full, just put all of those into one spot and enjoy the display you get from those because you've already got the perfect colour mix included. And the Tulip Purple Paradise, these are ones that can get to about 50 centimetres in height. Classic cup shapes on the tulips there. Iconic spring bulbs as well, definitely telling us that spring has arrived, and super easy to plant and look after. Great if you want to cut the flowers and bring them in, but do bear in mind if you cut the flowers, chances are you're not going to get those bulbs to come back next year.
I'm looking outside. I think I really want to plant those en masse. I do. And
well, it's 3 for 2, so it's a great time to do it.
Yeah.
You can get 75 bulbs here for the price of 50, so you'll be saving £10 by adding 3. You need to add 3 lots into your basket, and then when you put the code in, one of those will pop up as being free.
They are stunning, aren't they? Sorry.
I think you need to do a purple and white theme at the pub.
That's what I'm thinking of doing.
Yeah. Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah.
That's why it's in my head, clearly.
So I've got to do, some of you know, I do look after a few gardens. I enjoy it, but it's quite hard work sometimes.
It's a lot. You've got your garden, which is massive. You've got the pub garden and your mum's garden.
Yeah, although my mum, bless her, she's 83 and she does do what she can. She
Absolutely.
really, and she's got a boyfriend down this week anyway.
Does she tell you off for calling him a boyfriend?
Yeah.
My nan used to tell us off. She had a friend, and we used to say it was her boyfriend. And she used to get really mad at us.
My mum says, no, he's not my boyfriend, he's a companion.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's 92, by the way. So, but yeah, I just want to make the pub garden. I think it's still important to have a lovely winter pub garden, and I want to do it. I think I did it all purple and white.
Yeah, I think that's really classy. You
It's
get
all
loads
bright.
of extra customers.
It's all bright, hopefully. It's all bright colours for the summer, which I've loved. I've got loads of like begonias stuff, but I just really like those. Very designer, very high end, and you are getting the 3 for 2 off that. Right, we urgently need to remind you of some of the great plug plants that we have got on the show as well. Don't forget, if you want to be part of the show with myself, Shaun, and lovely Bex, you can email in ygtv@yougarden.com. You can get in the group chat on YouTube and on Facebook, of course, as well. But we love to see your pictures. And if you've got any questions, if there's something that you think, oh, I'm not sure about that, or you need a bit of advice, we are here to help. And if we don't know the answer, then we will consult our head gardener, Peter McDermott, because he always knows the answer. He really does.
And Millie, apparently, you've asked a question. We will get to it in a couple of minutes, in fact. So let's remind you of these 2 deals that we've got here. First one we've got is the Primrose bonelli mix. These are the garden ready plug plants. So when we say garden ready, we do mean garden ready, big plug plants ready for you to plant out. And what you get with the bonelli mix is a beautiful bright rainbow colour display, solid colours, bi-colours and winter flowering. Really hardy too, aren't they?
Really, totally winter hardy. Works out 45 pence a plant in the club. And to get them in the trays is just so much better than buying them individually as 9 centimetre plants. You pay so much more. They are ready to go right now into your garden and give you that fantastic winter colour. And the other ones that we've got for you, the tigers, I love these. I grew these last year. It's all about the markings of endings. They're really unusual. These are not the kind of violas that you're going to find in the supermarkets or maybe the main garden centres. Violas, don't forget, their flowers are slightly smaller than a pansy, but they produce masses of them. And Bex is showing you her roots there. Well, not her roots. No,
I had my roots done last week.
I thought so.
I've got another week before they start showing through again.
But these are the tiger's eye. 30 garden ready plants for $13.49 if you're a club member. Absolutely magnificent. But we've still got loads more to share with you. And we will check the group chat because apparently Millie has been asking something. Just quickly, by the way, if you've just joined us, the free gift today, we love this, right? This is really good. I know that our head gardener and the team have worked really hard on this. So Garden News is the UK's biggest selling gardening magazine. Some of you will already know it. Some of you maybe buy it regularly. We're going to give away a free copy this week. And this has got this September the 7th date on it. It's this week's issue. And we're going to do it for the next 3 weeks as well. So it's a special collaboration with, of course, Garden News. You've got all the top gardeners in the UK. We've got Carol Klein, she's got an article in here. Nick Bailey, who I got to meet last year, he's done an article in here. I believe our Peter McDermott, he's done quite a few articles. So he should be featuring in this magazine in the next few weeks. He's done loads of great articles about compost. He's done one about which chemicals you use in your garden. Lots of really exciting subjects. But that is free with every order today. YGTV3624 is your offer code to get that free in your basket. Right, Bex, you're checking the group chat?
I have been, yeah. So Mandy's saying she's got some black hyacinth bulbs that she's going to be planting with some red tête-à-tête tulips. Ooh. I can't wait to see them next year. That's moody and...
I like that.
I'm going to say it. That's a sexy colour combination.
Sexy.
Woohoo! Yeah,
Yes,
I think that's great,
yeah, that's
Mandy.
definitely sexy.
Love that.
Loving
And
your mood.
Millie's question, should I leave the Allium bulbs in the pot once they stop flowering? I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say
Stu
yes.
just went, well.
I would definitely...
Did you have an answer to that, Stu? Oh, you're just saying it's a good question.
So, absolutely, you can do. But I think my own sort of like, we're all different how we plant bulbs, but I I don't like the mess to leave behind in beds and borders.
Yes.
And you do need to let bulbs die down naturally to refeed the bulbs so they'll come up next year. So I tend to put them in pots, and then when they go over, I just shove the pots out of the way and let them die down naturally, and then just bring the pot out the next year.
That's exactly what I've been doing. Like, I don't mind the foliage from lilies, for example, because I just chop the top off where the flower, the flower's faded. And the foliage from lilies looks great right the way through to the end of the season. But allium foliage does look really tatty.
Yeah,
so
it does.
I do that, and I hide them around the back.
But don't cut off the dead flowers, because actually if you leave them on there and then they dry out, they look amazing.
They do. They look really good. You can leave those, and even over winter they look great. What I would then do is I would chop them in late winter, early spring, ready for that new growth to come back through.
Yeah, so that's absolutely fine to do that. Yes.
Lovely. Everybody's just talking to each other, talking about being a member since 2021, says Eleanor. How time flies. But her club membership has renewed again today as well.
Yes, so that means you get your £20 worth of free vouchers.
Woohoo! What are you going to spend it on?
Normally what happens, if you are one of our club members, one of our 45,000, and your membership is an auto-renewal, you get an email saying that it's renewed. You can always cancel at the end of the 12 months should you wish. Most people don't. And then about a week later, you physically get another welcome pack and your vouchers through the post. But it happens about a week later after your auto renewal.
So, is this Grimmy, this one? Oh, no, East Coast Tropical Garden. So he sent us a picture of his sambucus that he bought. Nathan, thank you, Stu. That he bought in the springtime, and that is what it is looking now.
I mean, they're really quick growing, aren't they? Really fast growing.
That's beautiful. I love that. I should have bought that deal. I wonder if we've still got it. Is it gone?
Yeah, I bet it has.
I meant to place the order and I forgot.
That looks fat.
Ugh, I'm so silly. I should have placed that.
Isn't that foliage absolutely beautiful?
I love it so
Yeah,
much. It's really pretty.
Oh,
there's still some left. There's still some left. Don't order it. I want it. Was it the pack of 3 at the $4.99, Stu?
There's 11 left.
There's 11 left. Is that 11 orders? Okay, 11 people can still get that if you want to go and find it.
God.
But can only 10 of you do it, please? Because I would like to.
Yeah, you should have got those.
I'm going to.
Yes. Right, we're going to move on though to our complete alliums. Can you use today's code? You have to use the last one.
You have to use last week's code, which would be 3524. So go on, search Sambucus. It's a pack of 3. You can get it for $4.99 as long as you use last week's code YGTV 3524.
That was so good, that offer, wasn't it?
It was so good.
11 left, I'm not surprised. But we're going to move on now to the complete allium collection. This is a stunning collection.
I'm a big fan of this, and I did plant loads of these last year. In fact, I got this collection and I planted this last year because I fell in love with alliums a couple of years ago, and now that's it. I have to have alliums in my garden every single year. You get 7 different varieties included in here, and I love all of the varieties. This is the bag that they come in, by the way. So you can see they're labelled on the front. You can see how many of each bulb you get. Inside, though, are the individual bags, which are labelled so you know which one is which, just so you know where you're planting them out. Starting at the bottom here, we've got the Purple Sensation. Adore that one. Yeah. I think that's the classic. That's the one I first fell in love with, but then you find out that there's a whole world of alliums out there.
I'm so with you. If we said, like, describe an allium, that's probably the first one you describe, isn't it?
Totally.
Big purple, gorgeous
purple balls, densely packed with those flowers. Each one of those balls has hundreds of little flowers on there. And this is why the bees absolutely adore them, because they just hop from one to the next to the next. You're going to get 7 of those bulbs included. These ones are the Allium nigrums, or nigrums. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that one. But those are those lovely white globe almost shaped ones there, and you're going to get 5 of those included. Then we've got, and I planted these for the first time last year, these are exciting. They're called Nectaroscordum or Siculums, and these have those lovely dangling flowers, and each one of these you can have about 30 flowers dangling off the bottom.
They're really pretty. I've got those.
Now the drumsticks or the Spirocephalon, these are the latest flowering. So these ones are going to come out springtime, about April time, but these ones don't start flowering until about July and into August. And they look like drumsticks, which is why they're obviously nicknamed drumsticks. Then we've got the Neapolitanums over here, and these are like the white sparklers, very similar to the mollies that you can see here, but these are the yellow version. And then finally we've got the Christophi over on that side there, which are massive. So
Now
Not as densely packed as the purple sensation, but big.
Yeah, and those, if you do dry the flower heads out, they are absolutely magnificent. And those can grow really tall, really big, really strong. So a wonderful collection. And as Bex was saying, you've got flowers from sort of like May time all the way through to July, even maybe slightly later. Lots of different varieties, lots of interest, but every one of these is an absolute winner and a stunner. And I remember Peter McDermott at Head Gardener said to me years ago, Shaun, you've got to grow alliums. And I never had. He said, once you grow them, you want them every single year. And he was so right.
Yeah.
Amazing. And at Chelsea Flower Show, for many, many years, the alliums took centre stage.
Absolutely. And they still continue to do that. They used a lot in garden design because they are quite architectural. It's amazing how, I mean, Purple Sensation, Christophy, those big balls of flowers. The Christophy, honestly, they were this big. The Purple Sensation a little bit smaller, but they're dense and they grow to a metre in height, and it's amazing that those stems will actually hold them up and withstand our British weather.
I was just going to say that because I don't like having to stake plants. Sometimes it just starts to look a mess when you start to get all your poles in there, and the stems are always strong enough to hold those big balls of flowers magnificently. But there is something architecturally beautiful about alliums and something so perfect about them.
Yeah, they're perfectly formed, aren't they? Those balls that you get there.
Amazing.
They withstand British weather, but they will not withstand your kids' footballs. I can tell you that much. I put them in pots this year so that they didn't get destroyed by the footballs. Kept the pots out of the way.
And I'm just looking at the value. 13 pence a bulb. If you are a club member, it works out less than 12 pence a
Yeah, I tell you
bulb.
what, they were selling the bulbs at the flower shows for a heck of a lot more than 13 pence a bulb.
And the one thing, and I know Bex touched on it earlier, but the one thing with alliums is that the foliage often starts to die down just as the flowers are coming out, and it can look a bit messy. We're just putting it out there. It can. So if you've got them in pots, I would underplant them with bedding. So yeah, primroses, violas, pansies, because the leaves just look a bit tatty sometimes.
They do.
They're not grown for their lovely foliage. They're grown for those amazing flowers.
There's a few things you can do though. So I grew mine in pots, but I actually put the pots into the borders where I'd got slightly taller plants growing. So you know the taller plants kind of shielded and masked where the foliage was, but I still had those beautiful tall flowers growing there as well. So there are ways around it so you can hide that tatty looking foliage.
Don't let that put you off. But
no.
I know when my mum grew them for the first time, she was like, oh, I don't like the leaves, there's something wrong with them. I was like, no, that's what happens.
What they do.
Yeah, they just don't, tulips, the leaves look magnificent, don't they? But alliums, no. But the flowers make it worth your while. But yeah, lots of ways of just making it look like a little bit more attractive. But that, 100 bulbs, 12.99, amazing. Now, my pet hate, not pet hate, that's the wrong term, but I'll just put it out there. I hate January. I despise January as a month.
I do.
January. I'm always overweight. I'm always on the wagon.
I turn a year older in that month.
Yeah, you do.
It's my birthday in January. I hate January.
Yeah. So January is for most of us, it's a long month, isn't it? And you're skint as well. So when February comes and the crocus start to pop up, it's like life's worth living again, isn't it?
Yeah, well, this is the beautiful thing about those spring bulbs, and this one being one of the earliest flowering is absolutely incredible. And this is why we want to put the work in now and put all this planting, get all these bulbs out and planted, because then we've got that joy and that hopefulness once these start poking out the ground.
Now I'll give you the details because we've got an amazing deal on our crocus bulbs today. 40 for $9.99, but it's on the 3 for 2 promotion.
But you will get 3 of those if you put 3 of those in your basket.
So that's really good, isn't it? So you're going to get 120 basically for less than £20, and that's a big display. Now crocus, I think they look great, obviously in your pots, your containers. They normally flower February time. But they also can look really good in lawns. We've got some, outside our house there's a verge and it's full of crocus in the, say, February time, the winter months, and they look absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and really easy to plant out. So please don't think that if you're going for 3 bags of these, 120 bulbs, oh my word, that's going to take me ages to plant. No. They're nice, tiny little bulbs, and that means it's going to be really, really quick and easy for you to plant those out. They don't need to go too deep at all because they are quite small bulbs.
I literally, last year I planted about 800 crocus, and I literally used my finger, I just went dung, 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 dung.
And then just smooth over the soil over the surface.
But they are just the most beautiful flowers.
And the 3 for 2 is a mix and match, by the way. So you could go for 2 bags of your crocus and 1 bag of your tulip Paradise Purple. That is one of the ones that we've got on a mix and match deal. So you don't have to get 3 of the same. You could mix and match these ones.
But it is worth that little bit of effort. And you always sometimes forget where you've planted bulbs and which ones you planted. They are like hidden treasures almost, aren't they? And then when they start to appear and they start to come out in February, it is just like a breath of fresh air. And crocus bulbs are really good at naturalising, spreading. You know, if you leave them in the ground, they really will, over many years, just form massive clumps of these beautiful flowers. And actually, you know, I moaned about how certain bulbs I get a bit frustrated when they take ages to die down and they can look a bit of a mess. Crocus bulbs, I always find the foliage is actually quite nice.
Yeah, it dies back down quite easily, quite quickly.
It doesn't look too messy
You
at
don't really
all.
notice it.
No.
It's a bit like grape hyacinth, because I always feel the same about muscari as well. They pop up, they give you the gorgeous display, and then they just sort of tidy up after themselves.
Whereas daffodil bulbs, full-size daffodil bulbs, their leaves go on for weeks as well, which is fine. But I think crocus are really neat and absolutely beautiful. I love the colour palette though as well, don't you?
Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah, the purples, the yellows, the whites. Again, quite a classy colour combo.
I'm excited to think about this, Now, you did like a drift in your lawn.
I did do a drift in my lawn, and it looked gorgeous last year. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing it coming up this year. Though I did mow some of the tops off, so I'm not quite sure how many are going to come back up. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yes.
Fine, we'll see.
Every year's different in the garden.
I don't mind. See what happens.
But we'd love to hear from you. We've got a lot of bulbs on the show. Let us know what are your plans, where you're planting them. But these go great pretty much anywhere. They look great under trees. They look great in pots, containers. They look great in hanging baskets. Look great in lawns. You've got to get some crocus in your spring, in your spring plans, haven't you, for your garden? Right. We've also got something a little bit unusual now. You've got a massive crop this year, Bex.
I've got a massive crop. I got one.
First year though.
But it is the first year, okay. So it's going to take a little bit of time to grow and establish. I planted it as a little plant earlier on. I tell you what, it's grown amazingly. Like I've got so much foliage on there. So this has got really nicely established in its first year. I'm expecting loads of fruits on here next year. I love that it's a little bit unusual.
Are you going to bring your one berry in?
I might bring it in on Sunday.
Share it with me.
I might bring it in on Sunday. I'll chop it in half. Yeah, I know. I need to
as well.
We'll cut it 3 ways. We'll all have a little nibble. But no, this is brilliant. It is a blueberry, but it's pink. But you've still got all of the amazing benefits of blueberries. So you've still got all the antioxidants. You've still got all the amazing vitamins. It's just they're going to be pink. And when I mix this in, because I've started off 3 other blueberry plants. I've got the mix of blueberries. I've got the early, mid, and late cropper, and I've got the blueberry pink lemonade started off. So next year, when I get my crops of blueberries going on, I'm going to have a beautiful bowl of just what's going to look like little jewels with the pink and the blue in there. I think they're brilliant. The only thing you need to remember is that you're going to need your ericaceous compost, because you're going to grow this exactly the same as your other blueberries. They need an ericaceous compost.
And that's not kind of like,
maybe
no. They're not going to perform less than an acid soil. They really. You might be lucky. Maybe you've got an acid soil already. But if you haven't, you will need ericaceous compost. We've got some on our website.
I just realised the price. Look at that.
Yeah, I know.
It's half price.
And I was only pulling Bex's leg about small crop this year. It does take a few years to get really big crops, but it is worth it. It is a journey. And blueberries are actually a really expensive fruit to buy, but very, very high in antioxidants, really healthy, and absolutely delicious.
Yeah, totally. Definitely when you grow it yourself.
Bex, you need to, when you do get a big crop, we make some blueberry muffins for it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Of course.
Great.
I'll bring them in.
Great.
Apparently we just had a message on Facebook. What was that? Samantha says...
Hello, Samantha.
Her order of compost has arrived and it is fantastic. Yes. And she bought her an oleander to remind her of her holiday in Spain.
Oh.
That's nice,
I've just come back from Spain and I was checking out the oleanders. There's some amazing
I bet they look
there.
Great.
And it's just incredible how they survive with such a little amount of care and attention.
So simple, aren't
But yes, just don't forget, if you got an oleander from us this year, when it comes to winter, they're hardy to about -5. So they may need a bit of protection. So just bear that in mind if we get a cold winter, just give them that extra bit of protection. Right, over here, if you've just joined us, a very good afternoon. this table is amazing, and I mean that hand on heart.
We've got it's a really good table.
The deals are just ridiculous, aren't they?
Absolutely fantastic. And the plants on here, like there isn't one that I wouldn't want to plant in my garden. I mean, I've actually only got one, so I might need to take advantage of this table myself. We're going to start off with the Gauras. This is my favourite on this table, and I just love it because you get this lovely kind of tall foliage here. It's going to reach about maybe. It could get to probably about 70, 80 centimetres in height, but you've got a journey on here. So you've got this lovely darker green foliage, and then rising up at the top, you get the darker, more maroon coloured foliage, and then you get this lovely bright pink flowers on there. The stamens coming out the centre, they are long. They look like cartoon eyelashes, very feminine, very beautiful, loved by pollinators, and really long flowering, starting in May and going right the way through into September, October maybe if you're lucky as well.
And they're normally about £10 each. We've got an offer on our favourite table today. You get all three in the 9cm pots for $9.90, and it is a great month to plant. Get them established and you will reap the rewards next year. Then we've got, this is just incredible, spring tulip and crocus mix for £4.99, 30 bulbs.
That's crazy.
I mean, 10 bulbs for $4.99. Yeah, that's good. But 30 bulbs for $4.99. Even our usual price is brilliant. And I know my mum grew these last year, and the crocus were gorgeous, but the tulips, they were really special.
Really special. These are the Johann Strauss tulips. A little bit shorter, so, you know, tulips can reach 40, 50 centimetres in height. These aren't going to get that tall, so they are gorgeous to put into a pot somewhere, but they're just that bit different, bit unique. You've got the kind of more open shape to the petals, that beautiful sort of pinky red stripe on the outside, and then it just looks like an egg yolk yellow in the middle, and I think that colour combination is stunning. Love it.
That really works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Again, we were saying how yellow and purple is a really good combo.
Really is.
And those, they are spectacular. That's definitely a recommendation today, and half price at $4.99, 600 244. Okay, I'm going to bang on about it again. Verbena bonariensis.
I'm with you on this though, Shaun.
I know you are.
I'm only picking a different one because I know you're going to pick this one. It is a fantastic plant, isn't it?
I think for me, I only grew it for the first time. It's less than 2 years ago. And I'm like, why did I not have that in my garden?
Yeah, why not? Once you've got it, you love it, don't you?
You really do.
And the thing is, it will self-seed as well, so you can get loads of plants from this. In fact, I was reading somebody on one of the groups we're in on Facebook who was saying that they'd got loads of babies that they potted up, and she said like 40 of them, so she's potted them up and she's going to share them with her friends and give them away. I've done the same.
But all you need to do, if you want them to self-seed, just obviously leave the flower heads on during the winter. They look really attractive, and it's great for the insects anyway. And then, yeah, you'll get potentially dozens. I reckon I've got about 100 new plants this year.
I had one pop up in a pot in one of my standard rose pots. Just randomly popped up. I looked at it and I was like, "Is that a weed?" Oh no, it's Verbena.
So, but it's for me. I love the height of these. They grow to about 1.50 m, maybe even higher. I think some of them have probably got 175. So those are the tulips, by the way, don't forget. Then the Verbena, this value is incredible. You get 3 in 9cm pots. They may well arrive in flower. These were actually, and I don't mind telling you this, these had been chopped back, and now they're reflowering.
Yeah.
So if you want them to keep flowering, chop them back. When the flowers go over, you get more and more shoots. They are a brilliant plant to work with everything else in your garden, because they are... We call them a transparent plant. You can see through them. They're not dense. They don't overtake. There's mine in my garden. They were only planted about 1.5 years ago. So they flowered all last year, and then this year they've been even better. But don't they look beautiful?
So pretty. I mean, look at that. Look at that colour. Look how it stands out against your luscious lawn there. You've put some work into that lawn, haven't you?
Yeah, hours and hours, seriously.
It looks so pretty though, and absolutely softens that wonderful, that edge of that patio there, which is quite a harsh border, but the Verbena just really softens that beautifully, and that is the value of this plant. This is why you'll see it used a lot in, garden designers will use it. It's, as Stuart says, it's borders without barriers, isn't it? It's a border, but you can see through it, and that's gorgeous.
So I'm just laughing, because I gave some to my mum, planted it in one of her borders. My mum's partially sighted, bless her. Anyway, she chopped it all. It was just getting to the point it was going to flower, she thought it as a weed and she chopped it right down, didn't dig it out because she couldn't. I was like, Mum, and she was devastated, but it's still flowered again.
Yeah,
they
beautiful.
they just love a sunny position, well-drained soil. But honestly, you need to get Verbena bonariensis in your basket today. And we did do a whole day's filming in my garden. Stu did a brilliant job. Stu's head of technical. He's just so good. And if you go on the YouGarden Instagram or Facebook, you will see loads of footage that Bex and I have done, like jobs for September, different soil types, low maintenance plants, all sorts on there. You've done the plant of the month on there, haven't you, Bex?
I have indeed, yeah. There's some with spring bulbs, bulb planting tips, lasagna planting. There's a few of those coming up as well. So, yeah, we would love you to follow YouGarden on Instagram and Facebook. Just search YouGarden and all of our latest posts will come up there. But we love to share things with you. We really do. Yeah, absolutely. And
you will learn a few things on the way as well. Right, I haven't got this one, Coreopsis moonbeam.
A few of our customers have, though, haven't they?
Yes,
Elaine. Amanda, I think it was you two that sent us pictures earlier. The moonbeam is gorgeous, and if you are going for your Verbena bonariensis, I don't know, I haven't done it myself, but I can picture those two together. Your Verbena will get nice and tall, it can get to a good 6 feet in height, whereas the moonbeam is going to stay a bit more compact. So this just in front of there with that yellow and purple is going to look gorgeous. Should get to about 45-50 centimetres in height. Wonderful perennial plant here, very sort of prairie planting, cottage garden style planting. It's perfect for pollinators. The Royal Horticultural Society have given it that badge, and it just, I mean, it's so elegant and delicate looking. Those flowers just appear on those lovely tall stems, don't they?
I meant to buy it last year. In fact, I ended up with leucanthemums next to my Verbena, and they do work. They do work, but I think that's nicer.
Well, we know that yellow and purple combination works, so I can see that. I don't know. Yeah, I can see it. Do it, Shaun. And
I am.
You can be the test subject.
$4.99 Bex.
No, I'm going to do it. Yeah,
I can do it. 567.73 for the Coreopsis moonbeam there. Again, a half price saving. 567.73. And then finally, all of these are amazing deals, but we have got our plant of the our deal of the week, I should say, which are the Lavatera. And what I can say, just from my own experience, is that if you've got a gap and you want it filling quite quickly, these are really fast growing.
Really fast growing, yeah, absolutely. So they'll reach full height in one season. At the end of the season, you chop it back to about a foot, and then it'll do it all again for you next year. So definitely going to fill those gaps in your borders through spring and summer. You get clouds of these flowers on there. You're getting all three beautiful colours included as well. Pollinators adore it. It's very nectar rich. It's a drought tolerant plant as well, so not one that you need to be watering constantly. If you go away to work or you're going on holiday, this one's going to be absolutely fine.
And I just love the way it naturally grows. So it's not like a formal looking plant. It's quite loose in its habitat, and it's not like twists and turns. It's quite gentle to the eye. Loves a sunny position, well drained soil, but very, very fast growing, but without being invasive. It's very easy to cut back. Actually.
Yeah, it sort of meanders through other plants as well when you've got it in a border, so it doesn't just stand alone, thick and dense and all the rest of it. It will sort of gently sort of meander into the other plants and just, I don't know, it plays quite nicely with the other plants in your borders.
And I love the three colours that you're getting there. So you've got like the pink with the white centre, you've got the white with the slight pink, and then you've got this kind of vintage white there as well. And that is amazing value. It is our deal of the week at just £10.99 at £9.89 if you are a club member. Right, we've still got a few things to come.
We have got a few other things to bring up, I think, so I'll get on with that.
Yeah, we've got quite an unusual cherry. I was going to say cherry tree, but I would be wrong.
It's a cherry bush, isn't it?
Yes, it is a cherry bush.
Cherry bush.
Which is coming up, and a gorgeous eucalyptus. But let's remind you of some of the deals we've had so far. Don't forget, by the way, I know we've got a big audience now that watch YGTV. Don't forget, if you spend over £40, free delivery. You've got your free magazine, which is a brilliant magazine. So our head garden writes for this magazine, as does Nick Bailey. Our lovely Carol Klein's got an article in here as well. We'd love to write something for it, wouldn't we, Bex?
Yeah, please.
But it's a UK...
Who do we need to get in touch with? Who's going to let us write an article?
Let's ask Peter.
Should we ask Peter?
Yeah.
See if they'll let us do an article each.
I'll write an article for free.
I'll do it for free.
Yeah. Great, wouldn't it?
Don't want any money. Just be great to be published, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So
I reckon we could do that.
I'm chairman of a garden club. I'd like to write about how, because garden clubs are struggling. I'd like to write an article about how we've managed to make ours successful.
Yeah, and I'd like to do about how to create a beautiful garden that you can enjoy, but your kids can enjoy as well.
I think that's a really good one because it can be difficult, can't it?
Oh, you can buy some pants if you want. Isn't there adverts for pants in there?
They're quite nice, actually.
That's
right,
lovely, though, look.
But it's a brilliant magazine, and it's the UK's biggest selling garden magazine, and it's free with every order today as long as you use the code, which is YGTV3624. But there are seriously some great articles in there every single week, and you're bound to learn a lot, and some great offers, of course, as well. Let's remind you of what we've seen so far today on YGTV. So we've got such a good deal on our Allium collection. So it's a complete collection. You're going to get Allium's flowering. There's a purple sensation there, one of my favourite, from about May all the way through to June and July. And what is so lovely is you've got things like the siskiyou there, which is of the Allium family. It's quite stunning, actually, that one, with 30, 40 flowers. You've got Christopher there, which is the big one, Allium Molly that we're looking at right now, with the gorgeous yellow. So a huge variety, different colours, different sizes. The Niagara that we're looking at right now, and the drumstick. But they will give you architecture, they will give you drama in your garden, and they will give you the most beautiful colours, purples, whites and yellows, for just £12.99, and they're 6.31 Then a spring favourite, crocus bulbs, 3 for 2, and these are in a mix and match. You can mix and match them with the tulips as well, and it's a crocus species mixed, 40 bulbs. And what I love about crocus, they flower, they're one of the first normally after your snowdrops. So you even see them poking through the ground when it's snowy and frosty. They come back every single year, and generally speaking, if you leave them in the ground and you don't chop them down, they will naturalise, they will spread. They can look great in lawns as well. They can look absolutely magnificent as say a natural looking flower in a lawn as well. 600,082, and it is on a 3 for 2 offer, don't forget, so amazing value, an absolute must have. Then you can mix these, you're going to go for 3 of those, or you can mix them with the Tulip Paradise Purple Mix, 25 bulbs on a 3 for 2 offer at £9.99. I just think these are very, very sophisticated. You've got different shades of purple, mauves. You've got the Fimbriata edging on some of them as well, so that's always like a little dusting with almost like little white, almost like little white feathers around the edge, actually. But a stunning mix. They'll go to about 50 centimetres. I think they look great as they are. So just all together in pots and containers in your beds and borders, they are beautiful. But that colour palette has been really well selected and always extremely popular here at YouGarden. 600,245 at just £9.99. Club members, you instantly get your 10% off. You get them for £8.99. Now, I'm not growing this one, but Bex is, and it is the Blueberry Pink Lemonade, half price right now. So it's a blueberry that is pink. You've got all the benefits, so you've got high in antioxidants, great obviously in your vitamins, very, very delicious in terms of the taste. You've got that sweet with that slight sharpness to it, of course, as well. And once established, you could be getting really, really generous crops every single year and save yourself a fortune. But I love the fact it's pink. I think it looks going to look really attractive if you're using it to decorate things like, imagine doing a cheesecake with some blueberries on it, imagine having it on your cereal in the morning, but also fantastic on something like a summer fruit pudding as well. 310-028 for the Blueberry Pink Lemonade. Don't forget though, that will need ericaceous compost. You definitely need an acid soil for that one to do well. And then we brought you the Choisya, which is the Choisya ternata, which is half price today at just £6.74 in the club, or even if you're not, £7.49. So it's an evergreen variety, relatively slow to moderate in terms of growth. Very neat, actually, this one in terms of its growth pattern. Flowers in springtime, and you get the most incredible citrusy blossom to this. It's like an orange blossom. It is absolutely beautiful. And when it flowers, it gets absolutely covered. Generally speaking, when Choisya flower, they let you know about it. You don't just get the odd one or two. You get a mass of this gorgeous white, and that fragrance of the kind of like the orange blossom type fragrance is just beautiful. One of the most stunning fragrances you could ever imagine in your garden. Likes a sunny spot, great in pots and containers as well. And don't forget, that is half price today at just £7.49. But we've still got a few items to share with you, including our heavy duty pots. Now, I've said for years that I've used these for I think about 12 years now, and I've used them every single time that I garden. And this is my garden, this is some of the things. I've got Christmas trees growing in them right now. So they're shoved to the side, out of view, because I'm not interested in Christmas yet. I've got my tomatoes growing in some of them as well. And again, I've done a bit of an experiment. Those in the heavy duty pots have done so much better. When I'm just taking things around in my garden, doing everyday tasks like cutting things back, trimming, pruning, weeding, that I don't know what to do with, that unanimous. I've shoved it where it can't be seen, so that's a temporary home for it. Been there 3 years. Then we've got compost. I prefer putting my compost in my heavy duty pots and decanting from it. I just find it a lot easier than using the bag, which can sometimes fall over and things like that. So brilliant for just holding things like compost. And then deadheading, weeding, they're 30 litres. Bex, you do exactly the same when you garden, don't you?
Yeah, I do, absolutely. It's my go-to whenever I go to the shed. I have one in there with all of my tools, my kneeling pad, my my secateurs, my little trowel, so that when I'm going to do my garden jobs, all I have to do is pick that up, and then I fill it like you're doing in your garden there. I've got loads of them that have got plants in around the garden, cordylines, rose bushes, tomatoes, blueberries. All my blueberries are growing in those as well. It's the most used item that I've got in my garden, and I am positive that it will be the most used item in your garden as well.
If you haven't got them, they are only £17.99 today for 4. Do you know what? In the last 12 years, I've never broken one.
No, me too.
No,
I haven't had mine quite as long as you, but I think a good sort of 7 or 8 years now, and absolutely they're going strong. Whereas those floppier, those other garden trugs you can get, that floppy sides,
that look really pretty.
A number of those are broken.
I mean, you buy those on colour. Oh, I'll have a pink one. I'll have a blue one, and then the handle rips off.
So frustrating. I tried gaffer taping the handles back on. It didn't seem to work. It didn't do the job anyway.
So built to last, absolutely amazing. The drainage is really good on these. You've got drainage at the sides and the bottom. And as I said, with the climate getting wetter in the UK, whatever you're growing in there should not get waterlogged. It'd be pretty much impossible to get those waterlogged. So honestly, they are one of the best investments you'll ever make. 130011.
Okay, we got a question from Millie. She says...
Hello, Millie.
It's about cherries. She says, I've got 2 cherry bushes planted in the ground, and between them I must have had 4 cherries. What am I doing wrong? Unfortunately, I've got lots of questions come back to you. So is it in a really sunny position? Is it nice, free draining soil? Are you feeding the plants as well? And I guess pruning would be important here too, wouldn't it? You'd want to give it a good prune in order to encourage that new growth and stuff coming through.
I think the main question I'd have is, did you get a lot of blossom? Because if you got a lot of blossom and only 4 of those have been pollinated and turned into cherries, that is a bit of a problem.
Absolutely.
Or did you just not get a lot of blossom? I don't know. You have to, give us a bit more information. We'll get back to you. I
mean, so cherry bushes, they want to be in a sunny spot for sure. For sure, they're definitely going to like a free draining soil. If it's like my clay soil, I don't think it'd do very well in that, would it? And to be honest, I think you want to prune them back, and you do that sort of after fruit production, so late summertime, right? After you've picked all the fruits, you'd give them a good prune back to sort of maintain the shape and encourage new growth to come through. And those are the sort of basic rules that you've got when it comes to growing your cherry trees and cherry bushes.
But give us a bit more information. How old are they? When did you plant them? What position are they in?
Yeah, that's another one. They do take a couple of years to get established. Once they're established, you should get lots of fruit production. Yeah.
But if it's only their their early years, then that might be reason as well. But just let us know, say where they are, how old they are, what soil they're in, which position, and we will get back to you.
Absolutely.
But We'll make sure you get more cherries next year. We will.
There's always something you can do, definitely. Feeding makes a big difference.
So we wouldn't class 4 as a bumper crop yet, would we?
Not yet.
Not
Like
yet.
my one blueberry, pinkberry.
Yeah. Now, because this cherry tree that we've got, I say cherry tree, it's a cherry bush.
Yes, the
This should produce kilos and kilos of cherries when established. You know, you could easily get several kilos of cherries on this one bush when established. And the great thing is, you'll be able to reach them all.
Yeah, no cherry pickers needed when picking your fruits off here, because this should get to, I mean, it get to about 2 metres, maybe, height and spread, but I can reach up that high, which means you can always be picking the fruits, and it will fruit from sort of low down as well, so you'll be constantly picking the fruits off here once it gets established. Big tip here, though. Birds like cherries.
Yes.
They really do like the cherries. Now, you might be like my mum, she has wild strawberries growing in her garden. She doesn't leave them there so that she can pick the strawberries. She leaves them for the birds. She loves the birds, so she lets the birds have them. However, I like cherries, and if I had a cherry bush growing in my garden, I would not be letting the birds get to them. So you might want to net the plants later on in the season to make sure that the pesky bird, not pesky birds, but make sure the birds aren't eating the fruits.
Well, there's enough for the birds at this time of year, isn't there?
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
But you can, with this, actually even grow a hedge, because it goes about 2 metres by 2 metres in terms of width. But the great thing is, yes, you can reach every single cherry. You can protect every single cherry.
I could just imagine picking that and popping that in my mouth.
Do you know what I'm always surprised about? How expensive cherries are.
Go on, tell your story when you went to the supermarket and you came out and you were like, hang on a minute.
True story. I went to the supermarket, bought literally a few items. And it was only like when I got home, I thought, hang on, that was expensive. I thought they've charged. I thought they'd mischarged me.
Yeah.
When I looked at the receipts, this punnet of cherries, I know it was a big punnet of cherries, it was $14.99.
I know. And that's actually quite usual, isn't it? Was it a really expensive supermarket?
It was one
of the expensive ones.
Yeah, it was, but even so.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy them cherries, I'll tell you. Like, eating them thinking, that's 50p gone. But you can grow your own with this gorgeous, say, cherry bush. So a bit of a sort of like breeding breakthrough. The fact, because I remember my aunt had a cherry tree, but it was huge and you could never get to the cherries.
Well, this is where the term cherry picker comes from.
Yeah.
You know, those great big machines where they rise you up, you know, the cherry picker, because you used to have to be able to get ridiculously high because the cherries would all grow up at the top. But that's what Shaun's talking about with this breeding breakthrough. The fact that the cherries grow all over the bush from low down, but the bush only gets to sort of about 2 metres in height. So you should be able to pick them very, very easily.
But again, like pretty much all soft fruit, really sunny spot, well-drained soil, and you could grow this in heavy-duty pots for the first few years.
For the first few years, absolutely. You'll reduce the fruit production you get from it because it will be that little bit smaller, but you'd still get a decent amount of fruits, and then you'd want to plant it out.
Yeah, I'm going to say only there for maybe say 1 or 2 years. But it's a great way of getting cherries in your garden and making them accessible and easy. And when you think of cherries, I mean, yes, they're great just eating them straight from the bush, but cherry crumble's gorgeous, isn't it?
Oh, there's so many things you can do with cherries.
There really is. What would you, because you're quite a good baker and things.
Yeah, do you know, I haven't used a lot of cherries in a lot of cooking. I'd do a pie. Absolutely, a lovely pie.
Cherry pie, come on.
Cherry pie, please.
Yeah, with ice cream or cream.
Oh.
But I'm just thinking in terms of what you will save over the next several years by growing your own cherries in a lifetime. It could be hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And fruit always tastes better when you take it straight from the tree.
And it'll last for decades you'll probably get out of this plant as well. So it's a really long-lived one.
And it's never going to grow more than about 2 metres by 2 metres. So nice compost. You can do a whole hedge, like I saw in that clip film. You can actually do a whole hedge of this.
I'd love to have space to do a proper full-on orchard.
I know.
Oh, how fun would that be?
Would be good, wouldn't it?
Would be good, wouldn't it, Shaun, eh?
Yes.
Shaun's going to do it. You're going to do it, aren't you?
We've managed to buy a little bit of land behind our house, but as soon as we can't really afford to do anything with it.
We've got the land, now we've got to save up to put... But do you know what?
It needs to, like, the land needs...
I think orchard in one bit and rose garden in another bit. That's got to be your next projects.
Yeah. I've got so many plans. I want to do a pond, I want to do an orchard, I want to do a wildflower area, but it is going to take a long time. And lots of money that I don't have at the moment. So.
You can always earn more money, Shaun. Don't you worry. It'll be fine. Always earn more.
No, it's a lifetime project.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But yeah, and it's not starting until next year. Need to get a fence up first to stop the sheep coming in.
Don't want the sheep eating all the plants. Come on.
I do like sheep. Right, I'm going to move on now to this fantastic eucalyptus.
I was just going to break one of the leaves off here because I could smell it already. Oh, wow. Because this is a really nicely established one already. I mean, look at the size of it. What size pot is this?
5 litre, I believe,
Is it 5? Feels bigger. Anyway, because this is really beautifully established already, wow, that is a strong fragrance off that, isn't it? All you have to do is squish the leaves and... Oh, that eucalyptus fragrance is incredible. I love the way the leaves form on here as well. I love the shape of it. It's absolutely gorgeous. So you've got the beauty of those scented leaves. Of course, it's evergreen as well. So this really does look beautiful all year round. And if you can, I mean, we've got a £20 saving on here. It's $29.99. If your budget allows, I would go for the more established one. Why not? Get a big change in your garden nice and quickly. That's an instant impact in your garden. Oh, that clears.
And we have checked it is a
nostrils.
5 litre, isn't it, Stu?
It is a 5 litre,
yes, it is, yeah.
Wowza. I love them. I think they are absolutely, fantastic. And you've got that lovely rounded foliage on there. You can cut stems off here as well because often you'll find eucalyptus used as a foliage filler in cut flower displays or foliage displays in your homes. So you can cut stems off here and put those into vases and things as well. But it is one of those evergreen beauties. So if you've got deciduous plants in your garden, then you can mix in a wonderful evergreen plant in there. And you've got a big one in your garden. It's nice and easy to look after, but does need a bit of pruning.
Yeah, it does. I mean, now it's massive now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I will say with eucalyptus, if it gets to a height that you're happy with, and then cut it back then and keep it at a certain height. But they are beautiful. The foliage is magnificent. It is something that looks good every day of the year, and it makes absolutely fantastic, say, cut foliage to go with the flowers, or just by itself as well, and will fill a room with that gorgeous fragrance as well. So it will arrive in the 5 litre pot, already really well established, looking beautiful at just $26.99, $683.12. Right, if you have just joined us, by the way, a very, very warm welcome. You're watching YouGarden TV with myself, Shaun Ryan, Bex Edwards, Stu, who's in our gallery right now. And remember, if you get your order to over £40, you will get free P&P. So over £40 free delivery, and with every order today, we're going to give you a copy of the UK's best-selling garden magazine, Garden News. It's UK's biggest-selling garden mag. All the top gardeners write for this, including Carol Klein, Nick Bailey's in there on this issue as well from Garden's World, and our Peter McDermott does write for this amazing magazine as well. He's got some great articles coming up. Right, we've got some more.
Now Millie's come back, so she says her cherry bushes are in the sunniest position in the garden.
Great.
So when you say sunniest position, are we talking like full sun, at least 6 hours of sun a day? That's what they kind of want. So not many blossoms, but the soil is good. I did give them a good prune after last disappointing year. I've had them about 3 years, and she's a bit lax in feeding. So I would definitely recommend up your feeding regime to sort of help with that. Other than that, I think, do you know what? I might need to just do a little bit of research and see if we can come back to you with a good answer, unless you've got anything.
I was just going to say, I'd get some plants that are some really good pollinators in your garden as well, if you can. Yeah. But I don't know why, if you didn't get lots of blossom...
If you didn't get lots of blossom, then that's the issue. So I think let us come back to you on that one, Millie. Just do a bit more research so we can come back with a definitive answer.
If you didn't feed, then that could definitely be...
That could be a big thing.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely, get some of our blooming fast. We do sometimes give it as a free gift on certain shows, but it is on our website.
It's on our website. We do a big 1.25 kilogram tubs, in actual fact. And it is definitely the best value at the moment. The details are on the screen for you there.
That is good, isn't it?
So that is, 1.25 kilograms is massive, basically. That'll last you for ages. And I did work out how many litres it would make, but I can't remember now. It's a lot, basically, but that's the best value. So maybe try some of that, and then we'll have a little research and see if we can come up with some other suggestions
I'm going to say, is that 1,250 litres it makes?
I can't remember.
I think it is. I think it makes...
Thank you, Stu.
Stu, just check. I think this makes 1,250 litres.
We did work it out, didn't we? And I've forgotten. It's 100 grams.
100 grams makes 100 litres. So a kilo makes 1,000 litres.
Yeah, so it's 1,250 litres.
Yeah.
It is going to be, isn't it?
See?
There you go. That's a lot.
My maths is good stuff, you see, Bex, occasionally. That is a lot of feed.
Yeah.
But that is going to do your whole garden for quite a few years.
Absolutely.
But yeah, feeding could be the issue there, couldn't it? Could
be. If anybody else has got any suggestions, whack them in the chat.
Yes.
We love our gardening community.
It's always a bit disappointing when you get a small crop, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, not an issue because generally speaking, the first few years with most fruit trees, and you do get smaller crops. But yeah,
I would think after 3 years, you'd be getting a little bit more.
We'd hope for more than 4 cherries.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
All right, Millie, we'll do some research and we'll come back to you.
Right, if you're not blooming fast, if anyone wants that, by the way, it is down to 14.99, 104. Right, we urgently need to go back to the favourites table.
Yeah, because we're into our last sort of 25 minutes now, guys. So time has run away from us, unfortunately. But let's start over the end there with the Lavateras, the lovely marshmallow collection. And the colour combinations that you've got in here are beautiful. They're kind of soft and delicate, aren't they? You've got the lovely pink over here. You've got the white with the pink centre and then that white one at the bottom there. And you will get all 3 of these. And these are nice, vigorous growing, aren't they?
Yep, got them in my garden. I only got one, but it's taken about 2, maybe 3 years to get to, I'd say about 1 metre.
Do they need support, Shaun? There's a question. I'm not sure because I've not grown these.
So what I will say is they are they don't need support. Is a simple answer, but they can go a little bit loose and floppy, but not to the point where you need support. But what I tend to do, because they are fast growing, if some bits look a little bit straggly, I had a couple of branches that got a little bit too low, I did just cut them off. Right. But no, generally speaking, no, you don't need support. But they do go sort of like gently across as well as upwards.
Nice.
They look lovely. What I would say is that I'd put it sort of like in the corner of a garden probably. Just because of the habitat, the way they form, but I wouldn't put it right at the front of a border, certainly sort of like middle to back, because they grow to about, say, this sort of height by about 1.20 metre, 1.25 metre.
Amazing.
But they are not they're not a really structured, dense plant.
Yeah.
They're more loose in their habitat. They're lovely, honestly. Think country cottage look.
And they are really good for pollinators because you have got some really nectar-rich flowers in there. So bees and butterflies are going to be, flying all around this plant. Very vigorous growth, and we know that because actually the advice here is you prune them right back to probably about 1 foot, about 30 centimetres. Autumn time, do you do yours, or do you do yours in spring?
What I do is take a little bit off in autumn, just so that then, because mine's in a windy area in it, so it doesn't get damaged, but then I take most of it off early spring. Yeah,
just before the new growth starts coming through. But then it'll grow to its full size, metre and a half even, within that season. So, yeah, vigorous grower, nice for filling in those gaps in some borders.
And they always flower on new growth, so don't be scared. I mean, I chop mine down, not quite as much as that, but to about, maybe 60 to 90 centimetres. But yeah, great, they're brilliant. You need to get them, Bex.
I know, right?
Yeah. You need to dig up more lawn.
I know. Just got to find space for stuff.
I know.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
One day I'll win the lottery and I'll buy a big plot of land right next to you. We'll be looking over your fence going, look at your garden. Come and look what I'm doing.
Do you know, I'd love to. Sadly, my neighbour's not into gardening at all, but I'd love to live next to somebody that really was into gardening.
Into it, yeah.
It was wonderful.
You could share, I know. There's a lovely lady who lives a few doors down from me, and she's into it, and we've been swapping plants and things lately, and it's been really lovely.
Yeah, it's really,
nice.
That's what it's all about. But the great thing is, I mean, you're part of our garden community, watching your YouGarden right now. We share over the internet with your emails and your pictures, so it's the same thing, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Right, Coreopsis is next. Moonbeam. We both love this, don't we? So pretty.
Buttery yellow flowers on here. Kind of, they look quite delicate, but they're not. This is a nice, robust, hardy perennial. Going to come back for you year after year. Gets to it's medium height, I'd say here. So maybe about 50 centimetres in height. Really rugged plant, totally winter hardy, perfect for pollinators, and loves a sunny spot.
Yeah. We should have said actually all of these plants, the Lavatera, the Coreopsis, the Verbena that's coming up, the Gaura, they are all fully winter hardy, so they do come with our lifetime guarantee. So don't forget, any plant that you buy from YouGarden that's winter hardy, you'll know, like on our website, it's got a little like snowflakes are like frozen symbol. If they're winter hardy, they are backed by a lifetime guarantee. So basically, if any of them die, we'll replace them for free. All you pay is the postage and packaging. Now, Verbena bonariensis is next. Who hasn't bought this? Because you really should.
You really should get this. Absolutely. It's a fantastic plant for any garden in actual fact. But certainly if you want to create a border but don't want it to completely, block off a view, this is a fantastic one because it's got this lovely, tall, willowy nature to it. Softens edges like we've seen in Shaun's garden with that harsh kind of line of the patio there. And pollinators adore this one, so it's a great one to bring pollinators in.
It really is, and they are fast growing. I mean, look at the size of these right now. These have already flowered. They've been cut back and they're flowering again. If you leave the flower heads on over winter, they will probably self-seed. They just love a sunny spot, well-drained soil, and they are just beautiful. I absolutely love them.
Yeah, it's that gorgeous purple colour, isn't it? And I love watching the bees pop around on this one. A bit like, any of the plants that they love, it's lovely to see that being invited into your gardens.
And I know we were talking earlier about space, but you don't need a lot of space.
No, you don't for these, do you?
No. And what I've done, because I've got loads of baby ones, I've actually planted them over the other side now as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think the other side looks really dull. So it's not the best bit. But yeah, they're so brilliant. And they really, really just work so well with other, say, plants in your garden, other perennials, and they're relatively fast growing, and they will grow to metre and a half, even more. 560910. Yeah, sorry, I just love them. There's a very famous gardener on the TV, and he always has those in the background often. Have you seen them?
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
Millie and your
said
cherry.
Something about the cherries. Oh, she was going to dig them up. Should she feed now? I mean, I don't know how much.
I would give them a feed
yeah,
now.
do you know what?
I would.
Yeah, I would give them a feed. Maybe one now and another one before it gets too cold. So they've got a nice bit of feed now, and then start again.
Really early spring.
Really early spring. Start feeding again really early spring and see if that makes a difference.
Yeah, but I think you've got nothing to lose by giving it a couple of feeds
Absolutely,
now. Really
yeah.
Don't.
Yeah, go for it, Millie, for sure.
Right. Spring tulips and crocus next. So I just I'm working out my little shop in my head, and I really want to go for these.
Yeah, it's a really nice mix, isn't it? Crocus, first of all, I mean, they're just... The crocus, they're just one of the earliest of the spring flowering bulbs, aren't they? I mean, I say spring, it's sort of late winter, isn't it, for crocus? These start coming up in about, maybe even late February, but in March time you get them. And that just tells us that winter is over. You can start getting excited. The longer days are on the way. And then they are paired with one of the most stunning when it comes to the tulip varieties. It's called Johann Strauss, and I just love it. I love the colour combination. I love the formation of the petals there, and the two things together work nicely. I mean, you might get a bit of a crossover with them coming in, so I think, because I think the Johann Strauss are an early flowering tulips, you might get a bit of a crossover with the crocus and then the Johann Strauss coming up. Amazing. But this is a great opportunity to maybe start doing some lasagna planting if you've never tried that before.
But I mean, you don't have to plant them together.
You don't.
But they do look really nice.
It is obvious when you get them home which bulb is which. There's two very distinct shapes or sizes inside the bag. So look, those are the crocus that you can see there, and that one next to it is the tulip. The tulip are the bigger ones, the crocus are the small ones. So you know exactly what you're planting when you plant them.
That value is amazing for those. I mean, say if it was 10, I don't get that price, Bex, because that's not. I'm not being fair. That's not an everyday tulip.
No,
is it?
Absolutely not. No. I've not seen that available on its own, actually.
No,
certainly not from us. But yeah,
that's really, really good. Right, Gaura is coming up next. One of Bex's favourite is the Gaura siskiyou.
I'm just trying to find the iPad. Here we go. I'll put it down here.
And this is another, all of these perennials are fully winter hardy, easy to grow. This is a gorgeous one, and you get 3 for $9.99. The RRP normally £30 for these. And so I've got one of these in my garden, but it's a bit lost at the moment. It's shoved behind a big lavender, and it's kind of growing a monster, and I'll be honest, it needs moving. But these were on the nursery a few weeks ago. Now yours may arrive trimmed. A lot of them have been trimmed back. Do not worry. Plant them now. The whole idea of planting these perennials now in September is to get them established. Then you will reap the rewards next year. September and October are a brilliant month, or are brilliant months, I should say, for planting your perennials and really getting your garden sorted for next year, moving things around. Repotting. These are 2 great months of the year to do it. Now, we had a question about this.
No, not a question, just somebody showing off their garden, which is what we always love. Unfortunately, it's come through a bit blurry, but never mind, we can look at it. So this is Julie, and what she said is she bought this from us last year, and it now fills this raised planter and has flowered all summer long. Now, I imagine you got the deal when it was the 3 pots as well. I can't imagine that is 1 plant. So I'm gonna assume that is 3 plants in there, but do let us know. Look at that, flowering all summer long. That looks beautiful. That's exactly what we're talking about with these plants. This is why it's my pick of the show. I absolutely adore it. Gorgeous.
Yeah. Sorry,
You're getting ideas now, aren't you?
Yeah. I need to get home tonight and move mine. Put it somewhere decent where it can be seen.
I love those raised planters as well.
Yeah.
They look great.
But it looks, we're talking about mixing all of these perennials would work well together, but they all actually, I was going to say, with the exception of the Verbena, I think the Gaura and the Coreopsis look great just by themselves, don't they?
Yeah, totally.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't put the Verbena by itself. It's tall, it's thin, it looks better amongst other plants.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, we have also got for you, I don't know where the time's gone today, Bex.
Yeah, it's flown by.
I know. We have got some brilliant garden-ready plants for you right now. Right, which one's the most popular? Oh, God, I'm going to say berries and cream.
No, I'm going to say Viola sorbet. Oh, it is berries and cream. You got it right. Well done. Right, with the berries and cream, you are getting a buy one, get one free here. So it is 10 of the garden ready plants, but when you put one in your basket and enter the code, we will put the other pack of 10 into your basket absolutely free. And these flower for ages, a good 10 months of the year. And that's why we love the berries and cream. Apparently you've had a question from Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Oh, what soil for the Gaura? Any.
Yeah.
Doesn't need the best soil at all. It can it'll cope.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's not
fussy, not at all.
So berries and cream, right. The value is amazing. These have been the most popular garden ready, and they are literally ready to go right now. And I've done a few experiments before where I've done a mixture of pansies in the same pots and containers, and the berries and cream cool wave just outperform. They have been really a breeding breakthrough in the last several years, and they flower from, we say, about 10 months of the year, and the only time they stop flowering is when it gets too hot in the summer. July, August, they tend to really die back. It's too hot for them. But if you want to, just cut them right back, because they will be, by that point, they'll start to get a bit straggly and things. You can cut them right back, put them in a shadier corner, and then they will bounce back in autumn time and come back again. So they're not necessarily an annual, they are a perennial. But they gently trail. They don't trail like the XL ones, but they cascade.
Yeah, cascading to about 30 centimetres. So, if you're putting them into hanging baskets, you'll still get that beautiful ball of colour. If you put them into pots, they will tumble and trail over the edges. But you could even plant these into the ground if you want to, because they'll just sort of create ground cover. So if you wanted to put them at the front of borders and things, you could do that as well.
But it's we do another cool wave variety, but the berries and cream I just think look sensational. Those purples and whites, they really work, and they look great with the purple paradise tulips that we had earlier as well. But really busy for those, buy one get one free, and we've said it several times, now is the time to plant your autumn and winter bedding. If you leave it too late, when it's too cold and there's not enough daylight around, it just won't do a lot. It'll survive, but it will not do a lot until spring. If you plant it now, it gets really well established.
Absolutely, it's really important.
Right, bonelli is next.
Yeah, we've got the Primrose bonelli mix here. Now, this is a triple pack, which is brilliant, and it's pretty much a half-price deal, isn't it? Or is that less than half price? No, it's about a half-price deal, yeah. So it's 30 of them, the garden readies, just like the other one there, really nicely established, ready for you to plant out in your garden. A gorgeous mix of colours, some bi, some, full solid colours. They create they create lovely kind of clusters as well, don't they? Which you can divide throughout your garden, flowering all the way through the winter too.
And
Gorgeous.
if you just keep deadheading, and they're really quite easy to deadhead, you'll get loads of new flowers continuing throughout those winter months. And again, they are perennials, so yes, they'll die down a bit in the summer, they'll be a bit insignificant, but they do come back and they get bigger and bigger as the years progress. You just get bigger clumps, so you can literally just divide those and plant them in other areas.
You were quite rough when you did that then. Divide those.
Oh,
Did you see that?
I do sometimes.
I know you just tear them apart, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you can do it with a knife and things, but sometimes I do just tear them. It's amazing how they survive.
They are woodland animals. They thrive in woodland settings, rather. So actually work brilliantly. They work brilliantly under shrubs and trees and things in those shadier areas, which is where I put mine, because obviously those can be tricky spots, so those can cope. Next we have, so it's 410046 if you want to go for the Primrose bonelli mix, 30 garden-ready plants. Make sure you use the code to get that saving. Tiger's Eye is the next one, and you grew this last year, yes?
I did. I loved them. I really did.
Yeah, they're pretty.
And all my friends that saw these and customers in the pub garden, they loved them. It's because they are really quite unusual. But look how well they've been grown.
That is such a good root system there.
Yeah,
look
amazing.
at that. Ready to get planted. This is what we mean by garden ready. There's no compost falling away there. That is a well-established plant, just raring to grow in your gardens. I think a full pot just with those in is going to look really pretty.
Agree.
Nice and low growing, only reaching about probably 15 centimetres in height, and each plant will spread by that much. So you'll need multiples to fill a pot. But these will work great in the ground as well. I mean, you know, with your spring bulbs coming up between them, I think that'd be just gorgeous.
I just think they're really unusual.
They
really,
are.
Really quite dramatic,
Small
aren't
flowers, but lots of them, yeah?
Oh yeah, and again they'll flower all, you know, autumn, winter, and in springtime as well. 410158 for the sorbet tiger eye there as well, and then the Erigeron, the sea of blossom or Mexican fleabane. So I just think these are just such a brilliant ground cover plants that thrive on neglect. They don't need a lot. They come back every single year. They spread magnificently. They never grow too tall, but they do grow width wide, and because they just can be great on rockeries, gravelled areas. I've even a friend of mine in the next village. She's got these literally growing out of steps.
Yeah.
Like honestly, cracks in the steps they grow out of. So they're very drought tolerant, well established, sunny spot, but they just flower for 6-7 months of the year.
Absolutely, and you get that lovely colour changing thing that happens as well. So it's not just that white sort of daisy flower that you've got on there. They will give you this colour changing display, so you get lighter pinks, darker pinks as the flowers mature. They close up during the night time, they open up during the daytime. They're absolutely stunning, yeah, and in all those different locations.
Yeah.
Mine's growing through my Geranium rozanne.
Yeah, I like
as you know,
that.
and I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect combination.
And the value, it's a 3 for 2 offer as well, so $14.99. You can mix them with the hollyhocks, by the way, on the 3 for 2.
Oh yeah, the 3 for 2,
yes.
yeah.
So if you want, if you think, I don't need 30 of those, then just go for maybe 10 of those, 20 of these, or vice versa. They are both in the 3 for 2 offer. And then the hollyhocks, which you've got your eye on.
I have got my eye on, because I was absolutely enjoying all of the hollyhocks that I saw around in various people's gardens throughout the summer this year. They really did look absolutely fantastic, didn't they? And I think they're really good for our British weather. That's why I really like them. You know, they're strong, they're sturdy, they're tall, they're bright, bold, beautiful colours. And of course, with this one, you are getting the double ruffled flowers as well, the petals.
And you
Gorgeous.
get the height with the hollyhocks.
Yeah.
So my mum's got some of that. They must be about 8 foot tall and look absolutely magnificent. Occasionally they may need a little bit of staking. A couple of my mums do, but not always.
No.
No.
And they'll grow anywhere. This is the thing as well. You can get them to grow in this very poor soil. Again, they don't need masses of room. They can grow in cracks. You know, I've seen loads of them growing just outside people's gardens, in the cracks along the wall and things.
And if you've got an exposed garden or you live in a coastal area as well, they're absolutely fantastic in those kind of environments. They do sometimes self-seed quite readily as well. I've got one actually growing out of my Geranium rozanne that's just appeared there. I didn't plant it there. Doesn't look great there, but I couldn't move it.
Just left it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'll move it next year. But they are only $14.99 for 10 of those. But remember, it's a 3 for 2, so you can mix and match those 2 varieties and go for whichever ones you want. 410121. Now, we've also got our Pro Plugs, which are the most affordable plug plants that we do, and you get 60 of them. And all you need to do is grow them on. And actually, at this time of year, where it's still relatively warm, lots of daylight, they will grow in about 3 to 4 weeks. And these are 401168, the Primrose Harlequin. So again, once they're grown, they love, we talk about them like in a woodland kind of environment. They're great in shady areas, but they're great in pots and containers. And if they are in a sunny position, they're still fine in the winter months.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no problem at all. It's just that putting them into those shady spots, that's where they're most valuable, I find. Divide them in later years with those clumps, but just enjoy those big, bold, bright colours. They are beautiful.
And I love just seeing them. I mean, there's only 1, 3, 6. There's 10 plants there. You're going to get 60.
60.
Yeah, now they have been grown on, obviously. That's not the size you'll get. You get a plug plant. So you will need to pot them up. You will need to pot them up in, I would say, 9 centimetre pots, or if you've got maybe the propagator kits that we sell. But in probably 3 to 4 weeks, they should be ready to go outside. And of course, fully winter hardy once those are established. 401168. $17.99 is your discount club price. And then the other one that we've got for you. Now, I didn't grow these, but you did last year, didn't you?
I did. I got them as the Pro Plugs last year, and they were to go into my hanging baskets, which is exactly what I did. So that's them grown on. So I planted them 4 weeks before that video. So they came as the little Pro Plugs. I just put them into those pots and things, leftover ones I got, left them on the windowsill in my greenhouse / conservatory, and that was it. Just kept them watered, and that's what they look like. And then I potted them up, planted them into my hanging basket, and they were glorious.
So you had 60. I mean, how many did you put in each basket now?
I did put 30 in each, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I went for it.
Wow.
Do you know what? And I'm stupid, sorry. I only got a picture of when I first planted them in. I just stupidly didn't get any more pictures of when they'd grown on. I mean, they look great. They do. You'll have to take my word for it, though. I haven't got the proof.
Well,
I took pictures of loads of other things, but not those for some reason.
I'm going to grow those this year because I love the fact that one of the very few proper trailing pansies that you'll get in the UK. We are talking proper trailing, like 50 centimetres or so.
Absolutely.
So not just like the pansy cool wave, we say meander, cascade, those will properly trail. 401172. Right, we are really busy today for our compost. We did say earlier that it's that time of year. So September, gardening friends out there, great time to plant new perennials, get them settled for next year. Great time to repot plants. Great time to move things around. And if I ever move things around in my garden to a new spot, I always put in some premium vegetable compost. 2 big bags today for $24.98. Right, Stu's got a bit of advice as well, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, if you've already placed an order and you've got your free gift of the magazine, which is brilliant, by the way, but you want to place another order, use last week's code, 3524. This week's code is 3624. Use 3524 and you'll get one of our green grow bags instead. Oh, is it behind me? Yeah. You'll get one of these as a free gift instead of getting 2 magazines. So use that instead.
Because
that's a great tip, Stu.
It's a
well
great
done.
tip.
Thank you.
Yeah, great tip. So
Good idea.
basically our offer codes normally last for about 3 weeks.
Yep.
But you can use previous codes if the deals are still available. But remember, if you like our premium professional compost, 100-125. I think the magazine is one of the best free gifts we've given.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
Well, it's something to, you know, if you don't read Gardeners News, it's the best-selling garden mag in the UK, and all the top gardeners, Carol Klein, Nick Bailey, they're all... Peter
McDermott.
Yeah, who's our head gardener, he's very knowledgeable. They're all in here with some fantastic articles. So that is your free gift. And we're going to be doing this magazine for the next 4 weeks. So won't be the same issue. Next week you'll get obviously next week's issue and so on. But I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, I can't wait to go.
Might take one of those home, eh? Have a little read, sit down.
I've got a big order in my head. So I will get one sent anyway, but I would like to have a little read tonight. Right, very quickly, loads of you ordered our compost today. It's our best-selling product here at YouGarden. It's a compost we use to grow things, everything on the nursery, like hanging baskets, bare root roses, bare root hydrangeas last year. Whenever we repot plants, it's all done in this compost. And we do not know a better compost. And we do occasionally try compost. I think it's part of our job to do a bit of research. But nothing beats this one.
No, I mean, just for the
Really
smell.
doesn't?
Just for the smell. I love the smell of this compost. It's so fresh and earthy and delicious. I mean, I'm not eating it. But you know what I mean? Like, I've opened other bags of compost and it smells sort of a bit musty and just horrible. This, I'm never disappointed when I open a bag. It's packed with incredible ingredients. We've got a composted wood fibre in here. All this fibrous material that you can see. What that allows for is even water distribution, but it also creates this lovely, light, airy texture. And that's really important for the plant that you plant to be able to develop lovely, strong root systems. And if you think about, everyone's going to be sowing their seeds, aren't they? Very soon, you're going to be starting to sow seeds. Those tiny little seeds that need to break open and roots go down and stems going up, they can't do that if it's in a really thick, claggy compost. Ours isn't. It's lovely, light and airy.
So you've got everything you need in there: composted wood fibre, different types of peat. You've got the slow-release fertiliser. You've got the wetting agent, so it rehydrates quickly. The pH buffers, it's the right pH for pretty much all plants out there with the exception of acid-loving ones. It is all there, and it is a commercial premium compost that gets amazing reviews. 2 big bags delivered free of charge to your door. We are sadly out of time.
I thought we had another 5 minutes. Sorry, I ranted on then a bit, didn't I?
I thought we had another hour. You're back on Sunday.
I am.
With Adam.
Am I? Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm at QVC this Sunday at 12, I'm going to say.
Okay.
Yes, it is 12 o'clock, definitely. So I'm there at 12 o'clock this Sunday on QVC. You can watch both of us because you always like stream late and things like that, can't you? For myself, Shaun Ryan and lovely Bex Edwards, we'll see you. Will you see everyone on Sunday?
Yay!
I'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
And enjoy your magazine. It's free and it's brilliant.